letting us know. All right. And we should be up and streaming now. Yes. It's starting to come into focus now. And there we are. So thank you, Brock Restovich, for letting us know we were not streaming yet. Always appreciate that. And back we go to our SEC update, brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bringing you the SEC update, your SEC Players of the Week. The quarterback from Alabama, Ty Simpson, is the co-offensive player of the week, accounted for 3 touchdowns in the Tide's 24-21 win at then number 5 Georgia. He was 24 of 38 for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. Also had 4 carries for 12 yards and a score. The other co-offensive player of the week is Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback for Ole Miss. He accounted for 385 yards of total offense, leading Ole Miss past LSU. Completed 23 of 39 passes for 314 yards and a touchdown, while adding 71 rushing yards on 14 carries. Your defensive player of the week, Arion Carter, linebacker out of Tennessee, had a memorable performance in the 41-34 overtime road win at Mississippi State, had a career-best 17 tackles, and had the game-winning PBU in overtime on 4th down at the goal line. The 17 tackles are the most by an FBS player this season, tied with a couple of fellas from UCLA and UMass. Special teams player, place kicker Brock Taylor of Vanderbilt, converted both field goals and was 6 of 6 on PATs in Vandy's win over Utah State. Offensive lineman, Ole Miss offensive lineman Patrick Kutas is the O-lineman of the week. 0 sacks allowed by the Ole Miss Rebels against the LSU Tigers. It's the first time they did that against a top 5 team since facing number 1 LSU in 2019. Caden Proctor of Alabama, left tackle, also co-offensive player of the week, graded out at a team-high 89% by the Crimson Tide coaching staff in their win over Georgia. Brian Thomas, edge rusher for South Carolina, the defensive lineman of the week or co-defensive lineman of the week. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss in the Gamecocks win over Kentucky. Tyree West of Tennessee finished with 3 tackles, 2 sacks, and provided a key forced fumble that swung the momentum of the game as Tennessee beat Mississippi State in OT. And your freshman of the week, Ole Miss punter Oscar Byrd, booted 3 50-yard-plus punts, including a long of 54, averaged 47.5 yards on a career-high 4 punts, pinned the Tigers inside their own 27-yard line on 3 of his 4 punts. And those are your SEC Players of the Week, brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. The following is a paid advertisement for Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo Harris is a certified financial planner, CFP, Certified Investment Management Analyst, a.k.a. CIMA. Securities offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN. Member SIPC. Bo Harris Wealth Management of Conservative Financial is a separate entity from WFAFN. Get in touch with Bo, 318-670-3101, BoHarrisWM.com, located at 223 Fannin in downtown Shreveport. Joining us now in Stu Studio, it's our old pal, Rogers Hambone Hampton.
Hey, boy, happy 2 for Tuesday there. I know we don't have much time for chit-chat because we have a loaded show.
Yes, we do.
Loaded, as Ron White likes to say. Loaded. As
a matter of fact, we going right after this. When we come back, we begin our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations with Dennis Dunn. We've moved Tyler Hassell up, the Manning head coach, from 6:45 to 6:30 because we're making room for Luke Olson, the Louisiana Tech defensive coordinator, at 6:45. And then back to more Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations at 7 o'clock with Chase Thompson and North Caddo. 7:15 is John Sella. At 7:30, we announce our Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week nominees and Player of the Week. And then we follow it up with our Spell Brothers Lumber. Spell Brothers lay in the Lumber Award winner. And we follow that up with our Tech Tuesday guest, Sonny Cumbie, at 7:40. Brought to you by Spell Brothers Lumber. Rogers, this is the kind of stuff that's going to throw her back out when we upload these things.
That's why I was stretching for an hour.
See, you're smarter than I am. I'm just drinking coffee. We will be back with more of the Early Riser portion of our show, brought to you by Sports World here in just a wee bit. A reminder that our show is also coming at you courtesy of Alsco and Alsco.com. Facility care, linens, and so much more. 318-636-0404. Last night in 2 horrible games, Well, I take that back. The Jets-Dolphins game was entertaining. There's two bad teams. Dolphins end up on top, getting their first win of the year, but they lose Tyreek Hill to a dislocated knee. He's done for the year. And in the nightcap, the Denver Broncos look pretty good, but the Bengals are really bad. They win 28-3. Bo Nix accounts for 3 touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, the Bengals scored a field goal on their opening drive, and then the next 9 times they touched the ball, punted. Only one drive that did not end in a punt was the time they kneeled down at the end of the first half. And that's it. That's all they did. They had 9 punts after a field goal. They don't miss Joe Burrow. Browning is just plugging him in, just like having Joe Burrow back there. Not. The early riser portion of our show brought to you by Sports World 8809 Joella, just off 3132. And we'll be back with Double D Dennis Dunn for our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations right after this.
1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
Look alive, Stu Prune. Coaches in here for Sports World, letting you know whatever football equipment you need right now, they got it for you at Sports World 8809 Joella, just off 3132. They've been taking care of football players for 50 years. 50 years. Do you know how hard it is to find a 50-year-old football player right now? They can find one for you at Sports World. Looking for a chin strap? They got it. Need some shoelaces? They got it. You need some Gatorade gum? They still make that? I think they got it. Sports World 8809 Joella, just off 3132.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Cormier Family Dentistry has been with us for quite some time for a good reason. They're really nice. Their staff, warm, welcoming. They take the anxiousness out of going to the dentist. Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072. Adam and Jenna Cormier, the dynamic duo of dentistry. GBT is the great banking team. 3400 Line Avenue, Mansfield Road, Williamson Way in East Texas, next to the Bellagio. Ain't no bots at GBT, folks. Real live human beings answering the phones in the teller window, and when you go into the bank, real humans. GBT, the great banking team.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, guys. Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers, Hambone, Hampton here. Our show, of course, presented every day by Alsco and Alsco.com. When it comes to your washroom supplies, floor care, first aid services, and more, they're the ones to call. 318-636-0404, Alsco.com. Early riser portion of our show brought to you by Sports World 8809 Joella. Remember to get those Letterman jacket orders in if you want patches and everything else on it by October 10th. No patches by October 31st. Sports World, get those orders in ASAP. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline as part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversation. You can't see the dent, Rogers. The man, the myth, the legend. Your head coach of the North DeSoto Fighting Griffins. It's good old Double D, Dennis Dunn. Good morning, Dennis. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Fletch. Good morning to you guys.
Buddy, there's a couple of things that took place that I think were pretty eye-opening this week. A nice win, obviously, for your Fighting Griffins. 52-26 win over the Northwood Falcons at Northwood. That's already an accomplishment in and of itself. But then there was something else that happened, Dennis, that I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on. West Monroe beats Catholic High. And I don't know if you heard this, but I know there were several folks who were like, well, man, North DeSoto beat West Monroe. I wonder if West Monroe's down. West Monroe, is that the same West Monroe kind of team that we're used to seeing? I'm like, dude, they're still a really good team. Yes, that's West Monroe. They still have 900 kids dressed out for football and 4,000 in the band, you know. And then you go down there and you look and see West Monroe beat Catholic High, who is generally considered one of, if not the top team in the state. I'm like, well, if that doesn't answer the question of how good this West Monroe team is that North DeSoto beat, I don't know what else does. So I'm kind of curious. Before we get to what your squad did this week, did you notice what happened with West Monroe this week, and how does that kind of make you feel about your team?
Well, Fletch, I heard it right after the game, and I had been asked, and I guess it's something that everybody wonders. Okay, how good is West Monroe? I mean,
right.
Yeah, you went over there in their house and that venue, which is tough enough anyway, no matter who they're putting out there and what product they're putting out there. When you go out there and you line up in that monument of a stadium, it can be intimidating. And our guys went over there and none of that affected them, none of that impacted them. And then you win the game, and then the questions. I mean, I got several from legitimate people what's going on with West Monroe? Are they down?
Right.
This will be honest. I mean, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, North DeSoto, after getting beat 63-14 the year before against an average West Monroe team, which most would say last year's West Monroe team was pretty average, although they did go to the quarterfinals. A new coach, all those factors factoring in, you don't really know how good they are. But I think we found out Friday night that West Monroe is coming back. And look, I think that coach, Coach Dyser, is going to do a great job. And, West Monroe is definitely still a good football team. And, to be mentioned, in the mix of teams like that, a Catholic going over there and losing to West Monroe, and then your name's mentioned, hey, that team beat West Monroe. It's pretty sobering, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. I knew that you probably had to get a lot more of those queries and questions than even I did. But, and I'm just a knuckle-dragging Neanderthal that sits in a studio. And I was like, man, I think West Monroe's still pretty good. And so yeah. And so last week.
The script's still being written, Fletch. I mean, they still have that schedule they play when you still have to play Ash and Ruston and Neville and Ouachita's really good this year, undefeated. We'll find out I think that script's still being written, so we'll find out how good they are, and we'll find out how good maybe Catholic is. A lot of that stuff is on previous reputation, so it's still an early season yet.
And that's also true. And I think that, could you say the same thing even about your squad, even though they already have some pretty impressive pelts on the wall? Center Texas, West Monroe, Union Parish, obviously, to open up, and then this past week, Northwood. Is the script still being written for the North DeSoto Fighting Griffins?
100%. I mean, I think our football team can still get better in a lot of areas. There are lots of things that still need to be cleaned up. We're still developing our identity in some areas. So, in many ways, it's hard to believe we're already in week 5, but in so many other ways, we're still, I think, can get a lot better in some areas. But, it's really a simple game. It's about getting the ball into players' hands. It's not about creating plays. We ran the ball the other night 51 times, and, it wasn't complicated. We put the ball in Kenny Thomas's hands, and we put the ball in Braylon Lattin's hands a lot. I think Northwood knew what we were going to run probably 9 out of 10 times. But, again, it's not about plays. It's about putting the ball in players' hands and letting them play. So it's not a real complicated game.
Braylon Lattin, 161 yards rushing to lead the effort the other night. What kind of kid? We have heard so much, obviously, about Kenny, and for good reason. Give us a little bit more lowdown on Braylon Lattin. What's his strength in the backfield?
Well, I think Braylon Lattin would be the feature back in most offenses in the area for sure. I mean, he's that kind of talent. But having to play in the same backfield with Kenny Thomas, you've kind of lived in his shadow for 3 years. And, being the same age, you don't get the notoriety that Kenny's gotten, but he's making a name for himself. Defenses seem to be playing differently when Kenny's lined up back there. They're moving safeties down in the box to make it a little bit tougher sledding for Kenny. But in many ways, when Braylon's back there, they're backing those safeties, thinking maybe we're about to throw the football. I don't know the thought process, but Braylon's taken advantage of that and had some really big games so far this year. So tremendous running back, big, physical guy, and can run really well. Got good vision, stays on track as our coaches call it, in the run game. So just so proud of what he's done and stayed patient and, waited his time to get opportunities, and he's made the most of them. This year's had a really breakout season, and I think it's really attributable to his offseason. I mean, the guy put in extra work, wanted to get bigger, faster, stronger, and he did all of that. Man, he's taken advantage of his reps.
Also on defense, Jonathan Perry, 8 tackles, a sack, 4 quarterback pressures, and a pick 6. Kind of spearheading a nice defensive effort. Northwood always has talent. They always have speed. They always have the ability to pop 40, 50 points on the scoreboard every single time Austin Brown's team takes the field. What was it about Jonathan Perry and this North DeSoto defense that stood out Friday night?
Well, again, you said it. Northwood's really good, and they have a lot of team speed, and they're well coached. I mean, coming into the game, they'd scored 172 points in 3 games, and that wasn't by accident. I mean, they've got some guys that can really play, and they're good. They're well coached. So, Jonathan is a guy that was a starter in the offensive line last year as a freshman, and we knew as other guys developed, we would move Jonathan to the defensive line coming into this season, and he is still developing, but had a breakout game the other night. He's played well in every game, but the other night he was really really good. Having to make some play. We had some injuries going in the game. Had to kind of move the lineup around and had some guys playing out of position. And Jonathan stepped up and had a well of a game.
Coach, this week you take on a BTW squad that is really fun to see how much success that they're all having now under Coach Coop. And they had a wild one on Friday in the win over Bossier. Just your thoughts on what Coop has done at BTW and the offensive firepower that they possess.
Yeah, I mean, the reason BTW is doing the things that they're doing right now is the common denominator is Gary Cooper. I mean, that guy's got a reputation in the area of his offensive prowess, played the quarterback position, and just a really, really good coach, good person. We like Gary a lot, have a lot of respect for him, and what he's done there is pretty remarkable. Last year's game was a one-possession game, and our guys have not forgotten that. That game could have gone either way. This is another game that we've circled as one that, we're definitely not overlooking and know that we've got to come in and play 4 quarters to have an opportunity to win the football game. So no rest for the weary.
No, it isn't, and it's district play all the way through from this point moving forward. Just kind of curious, you're about at midseason here after this week. You're 5 games in, and for a lot of people, that is halfway through the season. For some schools, they hope it's only 1/3 of the way through season. For your team to be at the 33% mark, which means you're going to be in the championship game, as opposed to just the 50% mark, and that's missed the playoffs, which I don't think any of us expect North DeSoto to miss the postseason. But how close are you to being that team that is the threat to have that 15th game this year?
Well, like I told you early on in our conversation this morning, we've got a lot of room for improvement, and the question I ask the kids every day after practice, was that a championship practice? And only you can determine that. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, was that a championship practice? And I think that's the mindset that we have to take. The only thing guaranteed is 6 more weeks, and anything beyond that is am I working today in order to prepare myself for those opportunities down the road? So we're not there yet, and we still have a ways to go in improving. And I think we can get there. I think our guys understand that we can get a lot better in a lot of areas.
He's Dennis Dunn. The North DeSoto Fighting Griffins are 4-0. They are as good as it comes right there in Class 4A, taking care of business this week. They will be at home in Stonewall to take on Gary Cooper's BTW Lions in a district game on Friday night. Always fun visiting with the old Double D, coming off a big win over Northwood, which, of course, followed the big win over West Monroe that looks better and better. It feels like a little bit more in hindsight than it even did immediately after. Dennis, always enjoy the visit. Best of luck to your fellows this Friday as well.
Appreciate it, Fletch.
You betcha. Thank you, sir. We got an LSU update coming up here in a wee bit. More Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations. And, of course, with Skent-N-Dent, you know and I know that the Hill brothers, Devin and Rance, have a really nice thing going over there. 814 Shreveport Barksdale. It's a beautiful showroom, chock full of so many incredibly new appliances. They get truckloads, 2-3 trucks a week of brand new appliances that may have a smudge, may have a scratch, may have a small dent, but it doesn't affect the workmanship of those appliances. Are you buying the appliance because you're going to run it down the Paris runways or runways of Milan? Huh? Is this Project Runway? Is this American Idol? No. It's a washing machine. Clean the clothes. It's an oven. Cook the food. Does it do that? Yeah. And saves you about 50% over big box store prices. Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations continue right after our LSU update with Tyler Hassell. We'll be back with more of the Early Riser portion of the show brought to you by Sports World right after this. We appreciate Sports World bringing you the Early Riser portion of our show every day from 6 until 7. They're opening their doors a little bit after that. Give them some wakey time. But when they're there, you know you're getting the ultimate sports professionals at Sports World, 8809 Joella. We know baseball, football, basketball, soccer, track and field. Name the sport, we've got the world for it. Sports World, they control the universe of our local sports. If they ain't got it, you can't play it. Sports World. Whether you're looking for that hot shot prospect in Bowman Chrome, or maybe that established star with any of the Panini products coming out for the NFL, or maybe Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and those Upper Deck Goodwin Champions cards that are out there, Sports Cards of Louisiana has something for everybody, plus Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. 3000 North Market Street, Suite 178 on the north side of Brookshire. It's Sports Cards of Louisiana, 318-671-4991. Our weekly high school coaches conversations are brought to you by Skent-N-Dent Furniture and Appliances. You can't see the dent, you can't see the scratch on so many of these products, but there's still a steep discount on so many wonderful things at Skent-N-Dent. 814 Shreveport Barksdale Highway, 318-869-2023. You may not see the dent, but you're going to see the savings at Skent-N-Dent, bringing you Coaches Conversations. Live Oak Waste is here to take care of your trash every single day. Why are you worried about that? That is the last thing that should be on your mind. You've got a business to run, a school to take care of, a restaurant to take care of, a retail center. Why are you worried about your trash? Stop fretting. Just call Live Oak, 230-7125, 230-7125. Hit the website, liveoak-environmental.com. Live Oak Waste, bringing you the text line on the Tim Fletcher Show.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for LSU sports.
Well, welcome back, guys. Tim Fletcher Show. Our show presented to you by Alsco and Alsco.com. Alsco, uniforms, linens, facility care, and more. The Early Riser portion of our show brought to you by Sports World. A reminder, get your Letterman jacket orders in by October 10th if you want all the patches and all the cool stuff on it. October 31st, just for the plain Letterman jackets at Sports World. Time now for your River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery LSU update. Brought to you by River Cities Lighting, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City, Louisiana. River City's Lighting has got light fixtures for inside the house, outside the house, all over the house, plus rugs, wallpaper, and more. Bringing you the LSU update. How about the LSU golf team, ranked 9th in the country, and how about back-to-back tournament titles? And oh my, could that be former Benton Tiger Noah McWilliams leading the way? Heck yes, it was. As the Tigers go 35 under in 3 rounds at the Bryan Brothers Collegiate in West Columbia, South Carolina at the Salina Golf Club. The second tournament win of the year marks the 6th under head coach Jake Amos since arriving at LSU. He now has a 40% winning percentage through 15 tournaments. After an average start on day 1, the Benton Tiger alum Noah McWilliams had a stellar performance, playing 2 rounds on Monday. He entered the day tied for 23rd after going 1 under par. He followed that up by going 7 under in round 2 with a round of 64, and he closed the day in round 3, posting a 3 under par 68 to tie for second place. He led the tournament on par 3s with a 2.73 average, also a tied leading with 2 eagles over 3 rounds. Noah McWilliams finished tied for second, along with teammate Jay Mendel. Arnie Sveinson finished tied for 11th, along with Dan Hayes at 5 under. And Matty Dodd-Berry finished tied for 37th at 1 over par. And playing as an individual, not counting toward the team totals, Hudson Lawson finished at 1 under par. And LSU was 3 shots clear of Charlotte for the win. Ahead of Charlotte, Clemson, South Carolina, Duke, Charleston, Little Rock. Good field. And Noah McWilliams led the way. So way to go, former Benton Tiger Noah McWilliams and the LSU men's golf team, racking up some hardware just about every time they take the course. And that's your LSU update, brought to you by River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City. RiverCitiesLighting.com. They've got light fixtures for everything you need, buddy, in every occasion. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline, as part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversation, your head coach of the Manny Tigers, it's good old Tyler Hassell. Hey, Tyler, what's going on, buddy?
Morning, Fletch. How y'all?
I'm all right. Thanks for bumping up here and taking over for my idiocy. Once again, these 2.5 readers ain't doing what they used to do, Coach. You know?
Well, no problem at all, Fletch. I look forward to it every morning.
Well, same here.
No problem.
Former Houghton Buccaneer, of course, now back there in Sabine Parish with the Manny Tigers. Started off with the good wins over Logansport and DeRidder. Back-to-back, though, Coach. Things have gone just a little bit off the path of what you probably wanted, but it just felt like that this week was better than last week. That's just me. Was this week a little bit better than last week for you?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely played better than the following week, but we're still not firing on all cylinders. We're not playing complimentary football. It's the tale of two halves, and the first half, defense couldn't get it right, and offense is rolling, and then defense gets a few stops in the second half, and then offense stalls out to start the third quarter, and we're just not playing complimentary football. So when we get it all together, and we have been playing complimentary football like the first 2 weeks, we've looked good, and we just need to get back to doing that.
How does a coach get that going on? Because as you mentioned, complimentary football means all facets working together towards the team goal of picking up a win. How does a coach, you can talk about, all right, we're not blocking on our dive play here better. We got to do better the left tackle. You got to do better this. Right guard, you need to have your footwork. I can look at this. But when you're looking at the whole encompassing, we got to play more complimentary football. Offense has to help the defense. Defense has to help special teams, helps offense, so on and so forth. What can a coach really do about that?
I think it comes down to situations. I don't think we played third down well on defense, and it comes down to situations throughout the game, field position and things like that. We definitely have we talk about the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, and I don't think we played well in the middle 8. So we're just going back to these situations and talking about these various situations while we critique, obviously the technique of the individuals. So just got to get back to that grindstone and just put it all together. We've yet to put it all together in the past 2 weeks.
Well, and Coach, the St. Mary's we lost 32-28. There were still some good things that happened, I'm sure. what's the thing that kind of stood out to you as like, all right, this is something we can take moving forward, this kind of effort or this kind of play from this position group. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, our running back play is Daniel Thomas is carrying the ball extremely running tough and running hard and hitting the holes, and he's doing a fantastic job. But yet he's still got some things to tune up in his game playing without the ball. And then I felt like our linebacker play was above average. We had some good hits there, and just trying to take stuff lost against on Friday and just get back to work.
And, buddy, you're going to get back to work against one of the best in the state. Of course, Manny, a 2A school with 2A numbers, taking on Big Bad Alexandria Senior High, a.k.a. Ash, coached by our old good dude, Thomas Bachman, of the Fighting Bachmans. Coach, what can you find out about your team taking on an opponent that is going to obviously have much more numbers and maybe even a much more size and a lot more depth? What's the game plan this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a David and Goliath matchup, and I just told our kids that the pressure's not on us. I mean, this is a matchup that the pressure should be on them. They should have the pressure as far as winning this 2A matchup, and then I just want to see growth out of our kids in certain groups. So just working on growth this week, working on ourselves. I think we've beat up ourselves the past 2 weeks, and we've shot ourselves in the foot enough over the past 2 weeks. We're just going to focus on us and get back to the basics and try to do the little things right so the big things take care of themselves.
Got to do the little things first, Coach, as you well know, and that leads to the good stuff here. As far as how practice is going here, after that win over Logansport, after the win over DeRitter, was there a noticeable difference in the energy of the squad on those Tuesday and Wednesday workouts compared to last Tuesday and compared to yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming off a win, everybody's excited, but I think our kids are bought into the process, and they knew that there was going to be some growing pains in this process, and we've got to check our morale. From time to time, we got to have a temperature check in there, and we're not sounding the alarm by any means. We're sitting at 2-2 in a tough non-district schedule. And then, after following this week after Ash, everything's in front of us. Everything's ready to rock and roll. We open up district play with Lakeside following that. So, we got to grow during this late non-district part and then, get prepared for our second season going into district.
That's exactly right, and that's why you hear so many 1A teams, 2A teams that play those 4A teams and 5A teams, because as Rodney Ewan has said, as Kevin McGee has said, as David Franklin has said, all who, by the way, have won state championships, play in those schools that are bigger and stronger than anybody you will possibly face in the postseason, just makes life better for those teams when you're trying to get into the playoff position. So I completely get it, and I'm sure that the folks in Manny get it. And I'm sure your kids get it. So here's the thing. Shock the world Friday night? Who knows, right? Stranger things have happened. And it's a great measuring stick to see how your fellows do. Of course, you get them there at home as well. So an opportunity for the guys to go out there and show out in front of their friends and family. Another home game. You only get one of these. 5, right, Coach? You only guaranteed 5 home games every year?
5 if your schedule's, set up for that. 4 or 5 usually.
And y'all have already had one, so the fellows that are seniors have 4 more home games guaranteed, and hopefully they get 3 more or so in the playoffs. But, this thing is flying by. And Rogers and I were talking about it this morning. We're halfway through the season after this week, and here you are in your first season as the head coach. Is it flying by to you, or is it do you look at the days and like, is it still – it's still just 6:40? I thought it was 7:30 already.
Well, the days are long, the weeks are short. I'll put it that way. So we're definitely grinding, 12-hour days. But it seems like just yesterday we were getting ready for a scrimmage in North Caddo. So they're flying by for sure.
No doubt about that. Well, Coach, man, I hope things go well for you. Thomas has got a well-oiled machine down there at Ash, and that's fun to see because they used to be nothing before he got there. And now Tyler Hassell, of course, trying to get those Manny Tigers right back to where they belong. And that's at the top of that 2A Division III heap. And so the best way to do it, battle the best. So Friday night in Sabine Parish at Manny, Ash Trojans versus the Manny Tigers. Coach Hassell, always appreciate your time, sir. I hope those boys play hard for you and come out of it nice and healthy and geared up for district play right after that.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good morning.
Thanks, Coach. Tyler Hassell, former Houghton Buccaneer. Joining us here for our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversation. Skent-N-Dent, 814 Shreveport, Barksdale. Why in the world would you pay full price for appliances when you don't have to? Only suckers pay retail. That's what my buddy David Page told me when he talked to Brookshire's Butcher, $2 a pound off some ribeyes. I was shocked that was possible. Our show also coming at you courtesy of Bowman Asphalt. Ryan Bowman, Mr. Big. If you can walk on it, park on it, build on it, or drive over it, Ryan Bowman can take care of it for you. 742-8100, smooth and gravy? Someone say gravy? Paving, grading, asphalting. That's what the Bowmans do, and they've been doing it for 4 generations and 56 years. Ryan Bowman, Mr. Big, 742-8100. No job too big, no job too small for this young man. Ryan Bowman, Mr. Big, BowmanAsphalt.biz. When we come back, we're double dosing with our Spell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday. At 7:40, we'll have head coach Sonny Cumbie. But coming up right after this, Luke, you are my DC. Luke Olson, the defensive coordinator for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, joins us next right here as the early riser portion of our show brought to you by Sports World rocks on, and the show presented by Alsco and Alsco.com.
The 11:30 a.m. Tiger app, roaring loud and proud thanks to C&M Affordable Fence. From privacy fencing to repairs and more, let's build something great together. Stay locked in with 11:30 a.m. The Tiger anywhere you go. Download today for free.
There are so many reasons to shop at Chevyland. They are the #1 Chevy dealer in the area, for Pete's sake. But I'm just telling you right now, if you're in the market for a Silverado, that's the place to be. The Silverado LTZ that I'm driving around has everything that I'm looking for. Look, I'm getting older. Maybe I don't drive as well as I used to, which is why I love the front and rear parking sensors, the surround view camera system, all right there in that Silverado LTZ from Chevyland. 7500 Uri Drive in Shreveport. Together, let's drive.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Your chance to get general admission tickets to Wonder Scream Scare Park for half price is this Friday with Seize the Deal. They're normally $20. Starting this Friday, it's only $10. Wonder Scream Scare Park. Open October 5th to November 1st. Wonder Screams is a haunted Halloween park for families, teens, and thrill seekers alike. Foggy walkthroughs, creepy characters, eerie lights, and themed food and merch. Go to SeizeTheDeal.com and purchase your general admission tickets for just $10. Wonder Scream Scare Park.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, guys. Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers Hampton. We're in the early riser portion of our show, brought to you by Sports World 8809 Joella. Just off 3132. They've got so much stuff. They got gear. They got starters blocks. They got javelins. Oh, sorry, Roger. I didn't mean to throw it. I thought I saw you. You're looking right at me. And, of course, they've also got Letterman jacket orders coming in right now. Get your order in by October 10th if you want to include all the patches and everything. If you want just the Letterman jacket itself, you can have that order turned in by October 31st. Letterman jacket's still a cool thing, man, and that's happening at Sports World. Our show presented by Alsco as well, Alsco.com. Uniforms, linens, facility care, first aid services, and workwear, and so much more. Get in touch with our friends here. It's 318-636-0404. Joining us now on the Mud Pods Hockey Hotline, as part of our Spell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday, your defensive coordinator of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. is Luke Olson. Second time we've had Luke on with us. Hey, Coach, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Tim, I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I tell you what, this we're going to talk with. I know that Coach Cumbie's going to give us an update on Colby a little bit later on here, about 7:40 or so. Alonzo Jackson, young man,
Yes.
Redshirt freshman out of Haynesville, Louisiana, and according to the release from Tech, Coach, had no registered stats before Saturday's game at UTEP. He comes out of there with the Freshman of the Week honors from Conference USA and just wreaked havoc, had a pick six. What was it about that young man that you are most proud of from his efforts on Saturday?
Well, Zoe's a guy with incredible talent. He's just a guy that's, we've slowly been trying to bring along. Loved what we did throughout the spring and summer and fall camp. Just needed to continue to catch on in what we were trying to do and how to execute his job every down. And, he's a guy that got thrown into the fire on Saturday, and I thought he did a phenomenal job with it. He had one play there, a couple series before his pick where, he got a hand on it, and I went to the sideline and showed it to him on film. I said, hey, man, you didn't want to get pick six? I mean, it's right there for you. And he's like, man, Coach, I know I had it. And I said, hey, you're going to get another opportunity, make the most of it. And sure enough, 2 series later, he drops into the zone, picks it off, and takes it back to the house for a touchdown. So incredibly proud of the way he stepped up. Those guys, they're always preparing like they got to be the starter. It's next man up mentality. And so he did a great job with that the other night.
6'1", 227. And they don't grow him in Haynesville without him being pretty tough, as you're probably already aware of that. The old country strong kind of comes into play. What kind of a thumper is Alonzo?
Well, I mean, really all those guys in that room, they love contact. They seek it. So we just try to do everything we can to let them know what's coming at them and where to be and how to execute within the scheme. And then we just let them loose and go play. And I thought all those guys did a great job the other night of doing that.
What is it about this defense overall? Number one rushing defense right now in Conference USA, for instance, giving up just over 105 yards per game. It sounds like that the mentality of this defense kind of goes a long way towards the physical results of this defense. Is that a fair assessment, Coach?
Well, yeah, they know number one is stop the run. It's the number one thing we got to do every week and try to make it one-dimensional. And then after that, we got to create takeaways. We got to play phenomenal red zone defense, and we got to get off the field on third down. And so those are really the top 4 things we push every week and overemphasize. And I think we're doing pretty good in 3 of those categories. There's one every week that we're just barely missing the mark, and so we've got to continue to get better there.
It's weird because the thing in passing efficiency defense, you guys are toward the top of the charts there, but as far as just the total yardage giving up right now, Louisiana Tech's kind of middle of the pack, about 240 yards. How much of that, Coach, does that go into, hey, these guys are having to throw the ball because they're down 31-11 or 31-10 or whatever in the fourth quarter? Of course they're going to throw the ball and get 70 yards of real estate that truly doesn't matter. Do you look at the stats in that way, or do you even care about passing yards, for instance, when the day is done?
Well, I mean, obviously you want to be the best in everything, but those 4 things that I just mentioned are the top 4 things that are really important to me. Sure, I think some of that comes into play. I mean, the last 3 games we've been in some of those situations where those teams are having to throw to try to keep up and stay in it. But really, I just talked to our guys the last couple of weeks about we've got to cut down the explosive. We have given up some explosive plays, and we've played some offenses that live off the explosive play, and if you eliminate that, they've got absolutely nothing. And so I thought we did a better job of that this week. There was, that one drive there in the fourth quarter where we gave up some explosives, and so, we'll continue to talk about it this week. We'll look at the tape, get it corrected, and we'll move on.
Coach, this team and the old term that comes into play to me is, ball hawks. There is no competition right now for who leads the Conference USA in interceptions. Everybody's got 1. A lot of schools have 2. There's a handful of teams that have 3, and there are 4 schools that have 4 interceptions this year in Conference USA. Oh, by the way, there's one team that has 11, and that's your squad. What is it about this team that just makes them jump off the page when that ball's in the air?
Well, again, you get what you emphasize, and that's something that we talk about all the time and how important it is to affect the game. Obviously we want to score with it every time we get a chance to, but also just giving the offense the ball back as many times as we can. That's our goal. And so, I think our guys, they work really hard. In the film prep, they understand what we're looking at, how we're looking at it, what we're expecting, so that when they get out there on game day, they should know what's coming at them before it even happens. And I think when they play with that confidence and they know what's about to happen, they're able to put themselves in a position to go make a play. And so, I got to give all the credit to our guys and the way that they prepare every week and understand what we're trying to get accomplished and how we're trying to coach it so that they can have success on Saturday. And then they go out and execute it.
And that's where it all comes to play, and they can listen and they can say they're going to do it, but actually the employment of the game plan has got to be something that's so satisfying for a coach when you see your unit playing as well as they are right now.
Absolutely.
I'm just wondering, Luke, does that kind of make you go, well, I think we can go higher than even I had expectations for? I think we can dig deeper into what maybe we had, possibly planned for this defense. Maybe they can handle this a little bit more, or maybe this guy can handle a little bit more, responsibility, for instance. Is this team kind of creating those opportunities for you and your coaches?
Yeah, and, I think one thing that Coach Cumbie always talks about is we're products of our prep. And so I think we just have to do a great job as coaches every week of finding out every possible detail that we can to give to our guys, every nugget we can give them to help them get ready to go play the game. And then you got to drown out the noise. I mean, it's fun to see, what you did, stat-wise, whatever, right after the game. But, come Monday, Tuesday, really Monday, it's a new week. We're moving on. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else says about what you did last week. It's a new week. You ain't done nothing yet this week. So if you want to continue on the trajectory you're on, then you got to take care of business starting today and do it every day because we're products of our preparation so that we can have that, success on Saturday.
We just had Tyler Hassell, Manny Tigers head coach, on with us, and he's trying to get his fellows to play complementary football. The whole offense leads to better defense, leads to special teams, so on and so forth, the circle of life type stuff, Coach. And it feels like in the turnover situation that there really is some good copacetic stuff happening with Louisiana Tech. You guys are creating turnovers, 13, I think, total right now so far through 5 games. And the offense has only turned the ball over a handful of times, maybe 5, I think. And so it's, the defense creating opportunities, the offense not giving the other team opportunities. How much does that complementary football kind of play into what you try to do as a defensive coordinator?
Well, I think we all know as coaches, if you win the turnover battle, you win the turnover margin, you have a greater, chance of winning the game. But as a defensive coordinator, I'm never going to push turnover margin because I don't affect anything the offense does. Mm-hmm. And so what we can do in our part of the turnover margin is create as many takeaways as we can to get the ball back for the offense. So it's always about us, what we can do to help them. Obviously, I want to score with it if we get a chance, and I think our guys have done a really great job of setting up walls down the sideline and getting into the end zone with it, and we want to put points on the board we can, but if we don't, then we've got to create extra opportunities for the offense, and so I just try to make it all about what we can do to help the team win.
Double dose in Louisiana Tech Tuesday, brought to you by Spell Brothers Lumber with defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, the 4-1 Bulldogs, Luke Olson. The guys have a bye this week, and I'm curious, Coach, how you kind of look at it. Momentum was certainly on the Bulldog side. Played really well 3 games in a row. Actually, all 5 games, the defense has really played lights out all 5 games. And now all of a sudden you got to take a little bit of a breather. I know there are some folks who are banged up and some injuries, and there's just exhaustion and wear and tear, but there's also that whole, oh my gosh, man, let's keep this thing rolling. Where do you kind of sit on the fact that you don't have a game this week, that you do have to cool your jets? Is it at a good time or is it a bad time for Tech to be sitting on the sideline?
No, I think it's at a good time. I mean, it's going to give us an opportunity to kind of reintroduce some things that we didn't do well in games that we need to get corrected. Obviously, you take those every week and you talk about them and you implement them throughout the week and as you go through the game prep. And now we can introduce a lot of those things and, start introducing Kennesaw State being the next opponent, and just really make sure we're covering all the details of the things that we need to do to be successful, and also give these guys a little bit of a break to where they can get their bodies back under them and get ready to go play a tough 4-quarter game at Kennesaw State.
And our last couple of things we have here. Once again, we appreciate Luke Olson joining us here. These coaches have about 3 minutes per day, and they have to eat 4 meals during those 3 minutes that they get. And so we appreciate any time you have with us. But obviously, with Colby's situation, we'll again address that with Sonny here in about an hour. But you've got opportunities for some younger guys. Who are some guys that are going to get some time here in these next couple of weeks, especially, that need to get up to speed pretty quick for Louisiana Tech?
Well, I think you got to see a lot of them, in the fourth quarter on Saturday at UTEP. Those guys being Alonzo Jackson, Eric Hill, Jaden Mayfield's done a great job for us. Obviously you got Mackay and Chief, and then you may see Benji some in the mix. And so, it's a position by committee, and we're fortunate enough to have some really good depth there, even with some young guys. And so, the good thing is we saw on Saturday that those guys do prepare to play like they're going to go in and have to win the game each week, and they were able to step up and do that. So now we get to prep like that on a bye week and get ready to go win a big game, the next time we step on the field.
Luke Olson, the defensive coordinator for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, off this week. Next game is next Thursday, October 9th at Kennesaw State. That'll be on ESPNU, by the way. And Alonzo Jackson Jr., the Haynesville Golden Tornado, who got his first stats of the year, stuffed the box score, and ended up winning Conference USA's Freshman of the Week for his efforts as well. And also, let's not forget, former Captain Shreve Gator John Hoyt Chance picking up the Special Teams Player of the Week for the third time this year. That kid's something else, isn't he?
Big time, man. He's got a huge leg.
Yeah.
We love having him, I can tell you that.
I bet you do. Coach, always enjoy visiting with you. We appreciate your time. Enjoy your off weekend, even though I know that you're not going to be fishing or golfing or anything along those lines.
Nope.
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, guys.
6:58 the time. Tim Fletcher Show. John Hoyt Chance, former Shreve Gator, had, 6 punts and averaged like 47, 48 yards per kick. Also had his longest, I think, a 64-yarder. I'm doing this from memory, Rogers, which is bad because I've got it written down. I'm doing my own cognitive test here. And also, every one of his kicks, I think all 6 were touchbacks. And so, yeah, John Hoyt Chance, former Captain Shreve Gator, Alonzo Jackson Jr., the former Haynesville Golden Tornado, both picking up Conference USA awards this week. Pretty stinking cool stuff, man. And once again, we'll visit with Sonny Cumbie, head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, and our regular Tech Tuesday slot at 7:40. When we come back, we'll be moving from our early riser portion of our show, brought to you by Sports World. Once again, the reminder that you can get your Letterman jackets ordered by October 10th. With the patches and all the numbers and all the stuff on there, the scripts and all that fun stuff. Or if you just need just plain Letterman jackets, you can get the order in by October 31st at Sports World. We move into our Fuzzy's Taco Shop cleanup hour. It's the 7 to 8 o'clock hour. We are going to be smiling and dialing with more Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations. That's going to start right out of the top of the hour with Chase Thompson and North Caddo, followed up by that fellow John Sella from Loyola. That'll roll into our Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week nominees, which rolls right into Bell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday with Sonny Cumbie. And it all kicks off with an SEC update from Bo Harris Wealth Management right after this. Sports World 8809, Jewella in Shreveport, Louisiana, is your local uniform professionals since 1973. That's right, since 1973, they've been taking care of your school uniform needs, your softball uniform needs, cheerleader, baseball, football, basketball, you name it. And for you refs out there, they've got you covered as well. They got the striped shirts. They've got the sunglasses. They got everything you need. Sports World, 8809 Jewella, just off 3132.
Hey, y'all, this is Eddie Kennison. As a former Tiger and pro athlete, I know what it feels like not to be at your peak. If you're tired, losing strength, or just not feeling like yourself, it could be low testosterone. That's where Rejuvenate Medical comes in. Their team knows how to help you regain energy, performance, and confidence on and off the field. It's real people right down the street with real support from a medical team that listens and real results you can feel. Schedule your consult today at rejuvenemedical.com. That's REJUVIME medical.com.
Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers built a practice on representing real people with real injuries and have obtained real results. Their success stories speak for themselves. They know and have experience with the best doctors and experts in their fields to provide the best care. If you or a loved one are injured, it is extremely important to choose the right lawyer. To see what they've done for others or to schedule a free consultation, visit morrisdewitt.com. Paid non-lawyer spokesperson, Shreveport, Trey Morris, LA 2417189. Results may vary.
When I think of the unsung hero in high school football, I think of that player that does all the little things. All the things that the coach asks that player to do, they're taking care of it. When the star of the team goes down, maybe it's that unsung hero that fills the void. Once again, not necessarily getting the accolades, but getting the job done. And that's what Goodwill Industries of North Louisiana has been doing since 1926. They bring you the unsung hero on our Friday night shows as well throughout the week. Goodwill Industries of North Louisiana, an unsung hero themselves.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
Welcome back, everybody. Tim Fletcher Show. Rogers, Hambone, Hampton here. It's 7:02. Our show presented by Alsco and Alsco.com, 318-636-0404, uniforms, linens, facility care, and so much more. It's the cleanup hour of our program. That's presented to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Fuzzy's, 4600 East Texas in Bossier City, Louisiana. Take the industrial exit off I-20, go north. You'll be at Fuzzy's Taco Shop, and they open in just 58 minutes. Time now for your Bo Harris Wealth Management SEC update. Yes, sir. Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo wants to remind everybody that, hey, look, in every client meeting he has, first question he's going to ask you is, what are you thinking about when lying awake at 2 in the morning? That's what Bo Harris wants to address. He sells peace of mind. Addressing problems that worry you is his calling, especially when it involves your financial life. Bo Harris, bringing you the SEC update, your SEC soccer players of the week. Offensively, it's Texas midfielder forward Amelia Villarreal, the sophomore out of Lansing, Michigan, scored both of the Longhorns' goals in a 2-1 win over Vandy. It marked her first career brace, 2 goals in the game. Her game-winning PK with 10 seconds remaining marked the latest regulation goal to win a match in program history. Oh, by the way, her first goal of the match was the number 7 play on SportsCenter's Top 10. SEC Defensive Player of the Week, Mississippi State defender Kennedy Husbands. Sophomore out of Midlothian, Texas, anchored the Bulldogs' backline in a 3-0 win over Mizzou. She was part of that backline that allowed just 2 shots on goal, posted State's 5th shutout of the season. Husbands scored her first goal of the 2025 campaign, striking it in a volley from 30 yards out over the keeper's head. Your SEC Co-Freshman of the Week, Florida midfielder Kai Sakiris and Kentucky defender Gabby Pareto. Sakiris, a freshman out of Newport Beach, drew a penalty kick and then stepped up successfully to convert the kick to help the Gators to a 2-2 draw at Georgia. And Pareto, a freshman out of Lithia, Florida, recorded the game-winning goal in Kentucky's 2-1 upset over number 25, Alabama. And those are your SEC soccer players of the week. The SEC Update is a paid advertisement and brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. The former Captain Shreve Gator, LSU Tiger, and Cincinnati Bengal legend would love to have a cup of coffee with you to discuss your investment game plan. Bo Harris is a certified financial planner, CFP, certified investment management analyst, CIMA. Securities are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN. Member SIPC. Bo Harris Wealth Management of Conservant Financial is a separate entity from WFAFN. Bo Harris Wealth Management, located at 223 Fannin in downtown Shreveport, online at boharriswm.com, and give him a call, 318-670-3101. Joining us now on the Mudbucks Hockey Hotline as part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations, your head coach of the North Caddo Fighting Titans is good old Chase Thompson. Hey, Chase, how you doing?
Good morning, Tim. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Probably not as good as those North Caddo Fighting Titans after getting that first win of the year this past weekend, taking care of business against the Magnolia School of Excellence, 32-14. Kobe Hill, 7 of 11, 105 yards, 15 carries, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns. Coach, the water tastes better. The burgers taste better. Life is just sunnier. Everyone smells better after a win. How was the joyous locker room for the North Caddo Titans after Friday night?
Yeah. No, it was a great change of pace for all the all the smiles and all the laughter and all the dancing and all the fun. So it was definitely a much needed change of scenery.
What did your fellas do so much better this game than perhaps they were doing in the opening 3 games?
Yeah, we really controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides. Our offensive line and our defensive line really set the tone. I think that Magnolia found a little bit with working some zone read game, and their quarterback had scrambled around on us a few times. But after we were able to corral that, our front 7 really kind of took over, and so that was exciting to see us, win in the trenches like that.
How do you take that momentum and carry it over throughout this work week?
Yeah, you have to, show the difference makers that those individual one-on-one battles make, and so, we're trying to take those wins and show the kids that when A plus B happens, then C happens, and so we're just trying to take that as those good moments happen in the game and show the kids that this could be repeated, and so we're trying to use that as a kind of teachable moment.
And that could happen against anybody. Of course, taking on a Mansfield squad this week that's going to present more challenges than Magnolia School of Excellence did last week. But it's still a case of, in those individual matchups, if A plus B happens, C is good. So how do you convince the kids that just because the opponent is maybe a little bit tougher to battle, the same formula works?
Yeah.
How do you convince the kids that?
Yeah, so you always want to, whenever you're giving your message to your kids, you want your kids to believe that they control their own destiny. Fate is not in someone else's hands. And so we try to always set individual goals here. And, it's really about, executing your assignment to the best of your ability and being able to go through 1, 2, and 3 different things, if-then scenarios during a play. And so, our kids are getting better at it. And so, I really believe in being self-focused and, not necessarily worried about who the opponent is. They're going to be what they are. And so I think our kids are getting better at their assignments and better at their confidence. And so I'm excited to see it against a better opponent.
After the game, we love hearing from coaches about the Goodwill Industries of North Louisiana and their unsung heroes, especially those that helped get a win. Obviously, Kobe had a big game, but who is a North Caddo Titan that you kind of consider one of the unsung heroes, the Goodwill International or Goodwill Industries of North Louisiana unsung hero?
Yeah, I would love for that to be Kamari Collins. He's a senior. He played running back for us. Our normal quarterback, we rested. He had kind of a shoulder sprain the past week. He probably could have played, but we held him out. And so we had Kobe play quarterback, and Kamari Collins was a senior that we moved to running back this year out of necessity for the position. And he had his first game rushing for over 100 yards and scored a touchdown. And so it was a great moment to see him be so successful.
Chase, when you look around on Saturdays and Sundays, that was very cool and happy for him. My gosh, you get 100 yards in a game, that's the bell cow. That's something he'll remember for the rest of his whole stinking life, cracking 100 yards as a running back. That's always fun. When you look around on Saturdays and Sundays, we always ask, at some point during the year, if you see something, they're like, ooh, that looked good on our in our playbook. Has there been anything that's popped out that you've seen? You don't have to give us the exact play if you haven't used it yet, but has there been anything that has jumped out that you've seen on a Saturday or Sunday or maybe even another high school team? You're like, ooh, I think we could take care of that. And I think we could do that same thing here.
Yeah. No, actually, I have to watch myself because I have such a recency bias. Like, I will see stuff on film and think, man, if only we did this play, we could turn the corner. If only we did it just like this, we could turn the corner. And so I have to kind of watch myself of seeing someone do something successful and then trying to immediately replicate it and doing it with our kids. So your kids can only maintain so much going into a game, and if you try to have a play for literally every single possibility during the game, you're going to have content overload. And so all the time I see stuff and go, man, why am I not doing that? And then you try to practice and you go, oh, no, I get why I don't do that because we don't have time to get good at that at all. Okay, well, thanks. So, all the time.
Has there ever been a high school that you've seen that's tried to tush push yet? I'm surprised that there isn't. If it hadn't been used by someone you've seen or played against, I'm shocked.
Yeah, Mansfield does it. Yeah, Mansfield does it.
Okay, Mansfield does the tush push. Okay.
Yeah, we did it last week and didn't get it. So if people are doing it.
Okay, I didn't know if I was wondering if anyone had tried it in high school yet. I was thinking, surely there's someone out there doing this.
Yeah, people are doing it. It's definitely not. I don't know. It's so time consuming to get a quarterback comfortable with taking an under center snap when all you get is shotgun snaps.
Wow.
And so a lot of times as a coach, you'd rather just get into a condensed set in the shotgun and run it straight ahead rather than having 5 minutes a week working tush pushes and that be your only under center practice for the week. And so I think it really depends on your quarterback. If he played Little League football under center, maybe he could do it. But if you have a kid that's not used to taking under center snaps, it's a little bit of a dangerous gamble.
See, this is where you need to get in there. You know, your principal did an outstanding job subbing in for your bride as our correspondent this week. But this is where you go to your principal and say, hey, I know in geometry that our quarterback and center are supposed to have a test, but can they get in the back and just work on some under center snaps?
Yeah.
You know, just see if the teachers will allow them to have 10 minutes each day in class to work on. And the students can kind of grade it. You know, they can be a class project.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Mm-hmm, yeah. So we have club day at school today at North Caddo, and I'd love to start a quarterback center exchange club.
Where the whole hour is just snap. I like it.
We could run some spinner series. We could do some fun stuff if we had an hour of just quarterback center exchange.
All right. So, you know, once again, we don't ask for much here. And we know that these administrators, they have a little bit already on their plates, okay? But if Jason Laufenberg is listening, just an hour a day. If he wants to see the tush push done properly at North Caddo, Jason Laufenberg needs to account for at least an hour a day for quarterback center and maybe the quarterback. And maybe so. All right. We're putting it on your principal then. Okay.
Perfect. Ball's in your court now, Jason.
That's right. This is not a Chase Thompson idea. This is Rogers Hampton Jr.'s idea. All right, buddy. Well, it's going to be a fun one this week, taking on the Mansfield Wolverines, and who knows, they may try that tush push when they get up there to Vivian to take on the North Caddo Titans on Friday night in the last non-district tilt that you've got before wrapping up the year with 5 consecutive district games. Chase, always enjoy the visit. Our best to the fellows. Congrats on the win. Thanks to Jason for stepping in for your bride, and we look forward to talking to Emily again this week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Tim.
All right, buddy. Chase Thompson, head coach of the North Caddo Titans. As part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations, we'll talk to John Sella, that fella from Loyola, as the Fuzzy's Taco Shop cleanup hour rocks on. Our show also presented by Alsco, 318-636-0404. Facility care, linens, and uniforms and more at alsco.com. Back after this.
11:30 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports. Powered by Jack Spring Electric.
The cleanup hour is brought to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Fuzzy's breakfast tacos and breakfast burritos are ready for you at 8 o'clock every single morning. And don't forget their daily specials. Happy hour, 2 to 6. Fuzzy's Taco Shop, 4600 East Texas in Bossier City. LockSafe is one of those businesses you don't know you need until you need them. You know what I mean? LockSafe.com, 318-222-8864. LockSafe. Commercial, residential locksmithing, full-service homes and businesses, access control systems, including buzz-in entry systems, auto keys, key fob, security product services. Look, all their technicians pass federal background checks, so you know exactly who's entering your home or business. And I love their phrase, their motto, so to speak. If it's on the door, they can fix it. From locks, repairs, and installs to replacing or reprogramming car key fobs, they do it all. And LockSafe is the only brick-and-mortar locksmith in the Shreveport-Bossier area. With over 30 years of experience, they're the trusted security experts, not just some guys in a truck who rekeys and disappears. They're certified, bonded, and insured, who bring a combined 75-plus years of locksmithing experience to the team. LockSafe.com, 318-222-8864, 318-222-8864. Over here in our little Tim Fletcher Show corner of the world, we are so appreciative of the fine folks over at Morris & DeWitt Injury Lawyers, shining the spotlight on local athletes with our Player of the Week throughout the school year. Morris & DeWitt Injury Lawyers, morrisdewitt.com. If you enjoy Tech Tuesdays, you can thank Spell Brothers Lumber for bringing it to you every single week. Spell Brothers Lumber with Tech alum John Salmons at the helm, located at 1321 Martin Lane in Bossier City. 318-747-1194. From lumber and hardware to window installation and so much more, your local lumber folks at Spell Brothers Lumber are here to guide you through the process. 318-747-1194. SpellBrosLumber.com.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for LSU sports.
Hey now, welcome back, boys and girls. 7:16 the time. Tim Fletcher Show at Rogers Hampton, as we are presented by Alsco every day. Alsco.com, 636-7094. When it comes to your washroom supplies, facility care, floor care, and more, you can trust the fine folks over at Alsco to handle it and then some. 318-636-0404. And, of course, the cleanup hour is brought to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. They open in 43 minutes. Breakfast tacos, breakfast burritos, and so much more waiting for you this morning at 8 o'clock. Thanks as well to our friends at Chevyland. Shop, click, drive, Chevyland.com, where it's truck month this September. 2.9% financing on 2025 Silverados, 2026 Silverados. That's right, Silverados from the future have come back to let us know that John Sella is going to join our show at 7:17 this morning. That's what the Silverados of the future have told us. Chevy Silverados, plentiful at Chevyland. Shop, click, drive, the #1 Chevy dealer in the area. Chevyland.com, 7500 Uri Drive in Shreveport. Jerry Montgomery, Steve Horn, and our friend Bubba Winningham would love to have you. Is John Sella on the phone right now? The future is now.
I'm here.
Yes,
I'm here.
sir. Joining us on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline, your head coach of the Loyola Flyers for our Skent-N-Dent conversation, the undefeated Loyola Flyers. It's John Sella, that very nice fella. Hello there, John. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're all right, man. This thing against Southwood, Southwood came in. They've obviously have snapped the long losing streak. They've got confidence. Coach Dewante Johnson has done a wonderful job getting the kids to buy in. But you guys kind of just had your way there on Friday night, and it was kind of over with quickly. What is it that obviously your fellas did so well on – that was Thursday night, wasn't it? Yeah. Last Thursday night that kind of put this thing out of reach quickly.
So, yeah, I will say, with Southwood, they did play with confidence, and, they're playing together, and they've bought into what Coach Johnson is doing. So they got it going in the right direction over there. But we just kind of found a groove, and offensively we're kind of in a rhythm right now. And then defensively, they got stops and turnovers, and continue to give us short fields, and we were just able to take advantage of it.
I would say so. Your quarterback, Bryce Restovich, 10 out of 16, 234 yards, 6 touchdowns. Charlie McKenzie, 4 catches, 94 yards. All 4 catches go for touchdowns. Coach, throw it to him 10 times, I
know, yeah. It's bad offensive coordinator, for sure, bad play calling. Just keep giving it to him, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. What is it that McKenzie brings to the table? Because I know that obviously Ty Walsworth has been somebody who has been a big target for you guys. I know Mason Drake has been an offensive performer for you, but what is it that Charlie McKenzie brings to the table?
For only being a sophomore, and last year he would have gotten some playing. He was getting playing time as a freshman for the first couple of games, but then he broke his foot and he was out for the year. And so for only being a sophomore and having limited varsity experience, he has a really high football IQ. He's shifty. He's smaller than the other 3 guys at receiver, but he's shifty and good route runner, good hands, and he's got a lot of speed too. When I say football IQ, I mean like when we're running routes and stuff and concepts. He'll sit down in a window and be like, "Wow, I was open. This is the window." And we're like, "Yeah, that's somebody else's window, Charlie. Like, keep running your route. This is not like an option." But he just understands the spacing and understands football really well and route running really well.
Defensively, whenever you get out there and you're able to pitch a shutout, I don't care who you're playing and what you're playing against. That's always encouraged, always fun, and a reward for a defensive effort there. So Alex Mitchell had 5 solo tackles, 8 total, 1 fumble recovery, 2 sacks, kind of spearheaded the effort there. Once again, what does this young man bring to the table?
I said it at the beginning of the year, Alex is kind of a ball hawk, and that doesn't mean just interceptions. Last year, I think he led the team in forced fumbles and fumble recoveries. And then this year, he started out the season, he hadn't had a ton of tackles, and that's not, his fault. He's not doing anything wrong. But then you look at the numbers, other numbers, and I think he leads the team in forced fumbles and fumble recoveries and interceptions. He just has a nose for the football, and he always is around the ball. And then in this game, he kind of broke out, had a couple of sacks. I think he had 5 tackles for a loss, including a couple of fumble recoveries too. So he's just kind of been all over the place for us and finding the football.
So basically, he's a havoc wreaker.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So, okay. Rogers is that, but only when there's just Budweiser in the fridge. And that's when it becomes more of a havoc situation there. You know how that can be. As far as the way your defense did hold on to the shutout, though, how important was it to them that they kept that goose egg on the board?
It was extremely important to Coach Lewis, too, the defense coordinator, to get one of those. And it gets tough, you know, in a game like that, too, you're putting some of the younger guys in and JV guys in, and so the varsity guys are, you know, on the edge of their seat, hoping that the backups, the sophomores, and the younger guys hold on to it, and they did. They did a really good job of, you know, doing what they're supposed to do and understanding the game plan, even though they're not in there with the starters during, you know, throughout the whole week. They did a good job of going in there and, you know, handling business, doing what they're supposed to do.
It did hold up this week, taking on a Minden squad that presents a lot of problems for a lot of teams. And I know Spencer would say the same thing. They are a hair's breadth away from being 4-0 themselves. When they are good, they are really, really good. And when they shoot themselves in the foot, it's kind of cost them. What's the thing that kind of jumps out to you about the Minden Crimson Tide?
They're big, they're strong, and they don't care how they win the game. They're just going to go out there and win it. And, you know, they're tough, they're physical. And so that's scary for us, you know. And, you know, when we're watching film, one of the kids asked what their record was, and I was like, don't worry about that. Just watch the film, because it's not – the record doesn't, you know, indicate how good they really are, you know. Like you said, they could be 4-0, easily be 4-0. And so it's going to be a tough matchup for us. And, you know, they beat us last year, so that's kind of been the motivation too. And that, all right, you know, if we want to act like we're, you know, one of the top team in 4A, we got to be able to beat Minden too, because they finished ahead of us in district and they beat us last year, and they were tough and physical last year. You know, that's just kind of their brand.
One of the things that's kind of interesting is I know that there's a couple of new coaches on staff, and we know that when there's freshmen moving up and seniors graduating, and so that sophomore gets a start now at the linebacker spot now that he's a junior, and the junior that was, you know, getting some carries is now going to be the leading carrier this year. And so teams have to gel. What about coaching staff? What has kind of helped this coaching staff gel with the new guys that have come in?
I mean, a lot of it might be just they all went to, just besides me, Jeter, and Coach Caddo, our defense line and strength and conditioning coach, everybody went to Loyola. And so, you know, they've kind of had the same upbringing and education and walked the same halls. And you know, that mentality that Loyalists had with like a chip on their shoulder and being tough and disciplined, I think, and us understanding that culture, I think has helped. You know, that they've all kind of been through it, and they love their school and they love Loyola. I think that's kind of been a big part of it too.
So it's basically in their DNA.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of comes out. One of the things we were just talking with Chase Thompson about, how many games or how many teams have you seen attempt the tush push when they get down to 4th and goal, 4th and short, and have you guys tried implementing the tush push?
No, I've seen a couple teams on film. We haven't played anybody that's done it to us. And one of the teams on film, I mean, did it on the one and fumbled the snap. And so that's kind of the worry. I mean, you got to get good at it. And so you got to practice it. We started this summer doing stuff under center, but I don't want to put Bryce in a situation where he's in there, you know, with a bunch of big boys on top of him, you know, and have it be in a pile. If we did it, we'd probably find a bigger guy and just teach him to take snaps under center. And then, you know, how long does that take? And, you know, so I don't know. I do think it's the Eagles' argument of like, look, we have to practice it and get good at it. I think there's some truth to that. But no, we haven't tried it.
All right. Is there anything that you've seen on film from another, or watching a game just casually, you're like, hey, let's put this in here, and it's worked so far this year?
I mean, there's been some stuff like a lot of teams are running the same stuff now. There's similar to what we see on Saturdays, some of the stuff that we run. So there's stuff, I mean, there's stuff from like a long time ago when Tony Franklin was doing his thing, that we still have in our playbook. And so you see it on Saturdays like, hey, we do that. Now, I don't think we do it at the same level, but there's some stuff that like basic stuff that like passing concepts and route pairings that we do that you see on Saturdays that it's like, that's pretty cool. Like we have something very similar to that. And it's cool when our kids, show that they're watching football too on Saturdays and say, hey, did you get this from LSU? I'm like, no, that's been a play that's been around for a long time, actually, Charlie. And we've been doing that a long time. So people run the same stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And the fact that you're using the Tony Franklin stuff from before, and, of course, now that he's back at Louisiana Tech, it's kind of fun that some of his stuff, obviously, it still travels pretty well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, yeah.
And so this week, of course, the Loyola Flyers put that unbeaten mark to the test at home at Mesmer Stadium Friday night in a district showdown with the Minden Crimson Tide, who come in with a 2-2 mark. But anybody that's seen Minden can tell you that they are as good as any 4-0 squad there. They could very easily be 4-0. So it will be a really fun game. One of the top games, I think, in the area this Friday night. Loyola hosting Minden. John Sella, that fine fella, coaching the Loyola Flyers, joining us here on the Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations. Coach, always appreciate your time, sir.
All right, thank you.
See you, buddy. John Sella, head coach of Loyola, 7:27 the time. Good morning, Adam Hester.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, I thought you were going to expand and maybe give us a little update on what's been going on with you. It's been so long since we've seen you.
We have a lot of coaches, too.
When we come back, we've got your Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week nominees, as well as the Player of the Week winning player, who will be honored by the good folks over at Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers, morrisdewitt.com. Over 1,700 plus 5-star reviews. Trey Morris, Justin DeWitt, that's DEWETT, morrisdewitt.com. Check out those Google reviews. You'll be glad you did. Fuzzy's Taco Shop opens in 32 minutes, presenting the cleanup hour. They open 32 minutes, Fuzzy's Taco Shop. And we'll be back with an LSU update in just a wee bit. Our show presented by Alsco and Alsco.com. Back after this. The Cleanup Hour is brought to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Fuzzy's breakfast tacos and breakfast burritos are ready for you at 8 o'clock every single morning. And don't forget their daily specials. Happy hour, 2 to 6, Fuzzy's Taco Shop, 4600 East Texas in Bossier City. GBT is the great banking team, 3400 Line Avenue, Mansfield Road, Williamson Way in East Texas, next to the Bellagio. Ain't no bots at GBT, folks. Real live human beings answering the phones in the teller window, and when you go into the bank, real humans. GBT, the great banking team. Mac McCarter has been making Shreveport-Bossier better for many, many years. Community renewal, making Shreveport-Bossier a more welcoming, more inviting, healthier, friendlier place, one house at a time, one neighbor at a time, one block, one neighborhood, one community. Community renewal, 318-425-3222, communityrenewal.us. See what you can do to help make Shreveport-Bossier better than ever before. Are you familiar with Sports Cards of Louisiana, Shreveport-Bossier's premier sports card and TCG store? That's right. Buy, sell, trade sports cards, Magic, and Pokemon. They're a Topps Direct MVP account, Topps Buyback Redemption Program, Play Pokemon store. They're a Fanatics Collect Direct Submission Shop, Games, Workshops, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Paints and Supply, Magic the Gathering Friday every single week. They have Commander Night plus Pokemon Play on Sundays at Sports Cards of Louisiana, 3000 North Market Street, Suite 178. When you text the old Tim Fletcher Show, buddy, you're using the Live Oak Waste text line. Roy Walters' crew is ready to make sure you don't ever have to worry again about your trash. Whether it's at a business, a restaurant, retail center, apartment complex, you shouldn't worry about your trash. Leave that to Live Oak, man. 230-7125, liveoak-environmental.com, liveoak-environmental.com, 230-7125. Don't worry about your trash. Leave that to Live Oak.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey now, welcome back, guys. 7:31 the time. Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers Hampton, Adam Hester, the Cleanup Hour, brought to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. They open in 29 minutes. Fuzzy's Tacos, Fuzzy's breakfast burritos are just absolutely delicious and a great way to fuel your morning. Time now for a River Cities Lighting LSU update. River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City. Scott over at dandydon.com ran a mail call, and you know, sometimes when people are able to email, they are able to get better thoughts out than if they call in or something, you know, like when Evil Twin or something like that. Mm-hmm. But there are some questions that I think a lot of us have. That he says that, you know, a lot of the listeners or readers have as well. One of them from a guy named Tim. Wasn't me. LSU's offense is becoming easy to defend, and here's why. Garrett Nussmeier's completely immobile. Drop 8 into coverage, rush 3. Receivers can't get open. He can't hurt you with his legs. Add that to the fact they have no run game. Can't seem to devise a scheme to beat the defense being played against them. That's a bad recipe for success. And as Scott writes, well, Tim, that's a pretty succinct way to put it. And it's true. Judging by what you saw against the Rebels, you're not wrong, because that's exactly what Ole Miss did. They rushed 3 and dropped 8, and Nussmeier couldn't get outside. So what happened to, I know someone brought in another question of, hey, I thought that they were trying out Juwan Johnson on some Wildcat stuff during the summer and were excited about it. What happened to that?
There could be some stuff that we don't know about.
Yeah. I know Jacob and Flynn talked about it, about trying to get the offense jump-started. And Jacob gets to see it more than anybody, through practice as well as through his efforts as the analyst. Did he have any answers? Did Jacob have? Yeah. I know Jacob wants to see the ball run more effectively. Maybe it's time to. Don't forget, the 51 yards they got against Florida came on the play with the fullback right out of the eye. So if you're having trouble running the football, maybe you got to figure out ways to move the people around you off the ball. Right. And that's another thing Brian Kelly talked about, having 12 personnel out there, 2 tight ends. I know that Trey'Dez Green getting hurt may have affected some of that, but Bauer Sharp has proved to be a very good pass-catching tight end. There's got to be another dude at tight end that can stick in there as the blocking tight end, third tackle type guy. It's confusing because the wins aren't looking so good looking back now. Clemson and Florida, but they're still wins, so you can't take anything away from them.
That is correct.
And that's your LSU update, brought to you by River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City, Louisiana, rivercitieslighting.com. Time now for your Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week nominees for Week 4. Got to get my voice ready, Raj. From the North DeSoto Fighting Griffins in their win over Northwood, Braylon Latin, 161 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. BTW on an untimed down in a 2-point conversion, slipped past the Bossier Bearcats. Vontravius Moore had 9 catches, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns, and it was the receiving end of that 2-point conversion. Quarterback Devion Stewart, 24 of 34, 422 yards, 5 touchdowns. DK Mitchell, 10 catches, 166 yards, and a touchdown. In that oh-so-close losing effort, Bossier quarterback Montrevell Lewis went 12 for 21 with 205 yards and a touchdown with a pick. He also ran the ball 31 times, 245 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Whew. Woodlawn's Cameron Jenkins had 15 carries, 105 yards rushing. Loyola in their win over Southwood, Charlie McKenzie, 4 catches, 94 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bryce Restovich, 10 out of 16, 234 yards and 6 touchdowns. The Benton Tigers in a nice little shootout came up on the short end of the stick, though, but Malachi Ziegler went 20 out of 29 with 362 yards and 4 touchdowns. Ran 7 times for 70 yards and a score. Case Austin, 3 catches, 127 yards and a score. Northwood in the loss to North DeSoto, Kyron Johnson had the ball 23 times in his hands, had 130 yards rushing. That'll work. Gary Burney of Parkway in a big win. 10 catches, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns. Caleb Williams, 322 yards on a 15 of 21 day, throwing the ball with 5 scores. Tony Gladney, 5 catches, 150 yards. That's 30 yards a catch for 2 touchdowns. And Damian DeCaldecall had 23 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Minden's Caden Shine ran the ball 8 times for 101 yards and 2 scores. Kalen Aubrey, 11 times, 90 yards, 2 scores. Evangels, Day Drake, had 11 carries, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns in that win over Airline. Peyton Pop Houston, 17 of 25, 427 yards, 3 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Also had 7 carries and 27 yards. Charlie Abraham had 9 receptions and 211 yards. Airline in that loss to Evangel, Chase Williams was 16 of 22 for 188 yards with 2 touchdowns. Kenny Darby, the unbelievable talented wide receiver, 7 catches, 76 yards, 1 score. Also ran the ball 9 times for 80 yards and had an 87-yard kick return for a score. Birds, Colin Deere, 27 carries, 175 yards, 2 scores. Christian Maxey, 12 carries, 128 yards, and 2 scores. For Shreve, Jamarcier Plater had 26 carries, 261 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Gabe Lockett, 9 carries, 86 yards, and 2 scores. And Jackson Gaskin was 11 of 17 for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns. Huntington's Justin Whitaker, 19 of 31, 303 yards, 5 touchdowns, 8 carries, 56 yards. Caden Stark, 6 receptions, 127 yards and 4 touchdowns. And finally, Kobe Hill of North Caddo, 7-11, 105 yards throwing the ball, 15 carries, 166 yards, and 3 touchdowns running. Those are your Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week nominees. And your winner of the Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week, BTW's quarterback, Davion Stewart, 24 of 34, 422 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 1-point win on the final play of the game. Also had the 2-point conversion toss to Vontravius Moore for the winning points. Congratulations, BTW's Davion Stewart, your Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week. We'll be bringing you the Spell Brothers Lumber Lay in the Lumber Award winner tomorrow morning at this exact same time. When we come back, our Spell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday conversation with head coach Sonny Cumbie gets going as we continue our Fuzzy's Taco Shop cleanup hour. Fuzzy's opens in 22 minutes. Back after this.
How much do I love my Silverado LTZ 1500 Texas Edition? Well, almost too much to squeeze inside just 30 seconds. Could it be because of the wireless device charging? That's absolutely a big deal because my iPhone is kind of busted up where the charger goes, so I just stick it where the wireless device charger goes, and boom, my phone gets charged so quickly. There's so many cool things. Even the little things make it great. Silverado from Chevyland. Together, let's drive.
Our locally owned businesses are the backbone of our community, and our industry aces lead the way with top-notch service. Lynch's Lawn and Fence. Don't get caught with your fence down. When you call, they come. Shreveport Bossier Family Dental. Dentistry that keeps you smiling. Shreveport Bossier Pediatric Dental Care. It's an out-of-this-world experience. Louisiana State University in Shreveport, where you can stay close and go far. Support local and check out our industry aces today.
Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
Traffic brought to you by Jack Spring Electric. Online at jackspringelectric.com.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for LSU sports.
Welcome back, guys. Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers Hambone, Hampton, and Adam Hester here inside the studio. Our show presented every day by Alsco and alsco.com when it comes to your workroom supplies, your workforce supplies, your floor care, laundry services, and so much more. Alsco is here to take care of it for you. 318-636-0404, alsco.com. Our show also presented to you by the wonderful folks at Fuzzy's Taco Shop. They open in 19 minutes. Breakfast tacos, breakfast burritos. I can't think of a better way to start the day other than visiting with Rogers Hampton between 5 and 6. Or Sonny Cumbie. Joining us on the Mudbucks Hockey Hotline as part of our Spell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday your head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. It's Sonny Cumbie. Good morning, Sonny. How you doing?
Hey, Tim. Good morning. Glad to be back on.
Absolutely, and especially after another win, another outstanding performance by the Bulldogs, where the turnovers just keep showing up in bushel basketfuls for the Bulldogs, and you guys have been stingy with it. I believe it's a 13-5 turnover ratio so far this year for the Bulldogs. Coach, a 30-11 win over UTEP. What's the best thing that happened outside of the scoreboard versus those UTEP Miners Saturday?
Yeah, the best thing that was definitely the scoreboard, like you said, and I would think that the pick six by Jakari Foster, that really put distance between us, and that was such a big time in the game in the second half, and just did a great job in the zone coverage, and he sunk underneath the hitch route and was able to pick it off, and I think those turnovers it's just amazing. I mean, maybe it will be sustainable, Tim. I don't know. I mean, these guys have. We'll definitely take it. And then, our Haynesville Tornado, Alonzo Jackson, he gets a pick six there late to really, put the nail in the coffin. And so that was great to see, guys getting opportunities and making plays. And anytime you get a road win, and especially in conference, it's a big deal. And so we're 2-0 and we still are striving, to find that consistency, which we will. On offense, we'll find that ability to, consistently move the ball and produce points there. And I think once we find that, along with us playing defense the way we've been playing, I think we're going to be a really tough team to beat.
Well, it feels like that, we were talking with your defensive coordinator, Luke Olson, a little bit earlier this morning, the whole idea of complementary football. He has nothing to do with the offense, and I understand that, but the fact that you guys haven't turned the ball over that much on offense, and that they have created these opportunities for the offense by creating these turnovers, that all works hand in hand. And then, of course, you've got John Hoyt Chance out of Captain Shreve, who is now 3-time winner of Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week. So if the offense does stagnate, he's been able to flip the field completely. And after a score, you know that the other team's going to have to drive the entire length of the field because the ball is going out of the end zone. All that seems to be working. Like the parts are kind of falling in place like a tank tread, just kind of one after the other. How does it feel on the inside, though, of the mix here? Does it feel like that things are kind of lining up very nicely for all three facets of the Tech Bulldogs?
Well, I think that there's some, internally, offensively, we know that we're better than what we played, in spurts this year. And it's still trying to find that rhythm and to try to get into that groove to where we consistently play complementary football. And I think what happened Saturday is we turned it over in the first half twice, which we hadn't done, like you talked about.
Right.
Like we turn it over in the end zone, and then we turn it over. You have at least 3 points the first time. So you're at least looking at worst case, it's 13-0 at halftime. Best case, it's 21-17 to nothing at halftime. How we not turning the football over, and that was the difference. And so, we've got to be better there inside the red zone in that situation. And John Chance, and I might need to come over there and make a few rounds, around Shreveport. Maybe get him a Fuzzy Tacos deal and a few other things, to try to keep
No lie.
He's a third-time Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Year. And, Legatron is what I call him. I mean, he just is. He's just such a huge asset, punting the ball and kickoffs and long-range field goal. And I told him he even the first half, his hang time wasn't great. He wasn't hitting great punts in the first half, hang time wise. Well, in the second half, he bounced back and he came and really nailed one, pinned him inside around on the 10-yard line, and he was coming onto the sideline, and I made sure to tell him, I said, John, I take back all those mean things I said to you in the first half of that punt, buddy.
Didn't he have like a 5.2 something second hang time or something like that?
Yeah, he did. And it was that last punt of the night that really sealed the deal. A one-stepper, they were coming to get it, and we needed to hang it up there, and he did.
I think there were some folks that reported it as a UFO out there in El Paso.
It might have been,
What's that thing hovering above the stadium for so long? So all this great news, but there obviously comes a little dash of reality in one of the top players in all of the conference and maybe one of the top defenders in any of the Group 4, at least, especially. Colby Fields, hurt during the game. Coach, do you have an update on his condition and his status?
Well, he is one of the top defensive players in the country. He's just a tremendous football player. You know, instincts, we talked about it on and on, you know, and the thing that's just so gut-wrenching about it is the things that off the field and the adversity and the things that he's overcome and he's met it head on, and just the challenges that he's had, and he's just he's just freaking such a bulldog, and he's just such a fighter, and he just kind of overcomes and fights through, and was just playing had a great senior season going. And you know, it's just another obstacle that he's going to have to face with a lot of people helping him, and a lot of people here with our program, you know, wrap their arms around him, because he will be out for the rest of the year with a right knee injury. And we found that out yesterday afternoon about 4:00. And so he'll be having surgery Thursday this week here in town, and just needs lots of thoughts and prayers, you know, and encouragement. You know, I think is a big piece, because he brings so much to our team, and that's why, whether he's out there playing, you know, we'd love that, but his presence in our meeting room and our presence in our team and our sideline is just so strong. But he'll still be there, and he'll still be, once we get him, you know, where he can travel with us, and we'll get him up in the press box, and you know, we might get him on a headset with Chief 42. They're like, you know, they're their buddies, and so if you see Chief, like, you know, pointing up at the press box, hopefully not like double bird in the press box or anything like that. They might be doing it to Chief, you know, hey, Kobe. But, you know, I just, you know, I just hope that it's a lot of, it's in a lot of ways it hurts just because of the, you know, as a coach, and I said it to our staff, I said, you can't take for granted that our best player is our hardest worker. Our best player is the most bought in player we have. He wants to be at Louisiana Tech. I think the fans and the people need to know, like, I mean, he had opportunities to leave, and he chose to stay here. He's a Bulldog through and through. He's got a fighter spirit. He'll attack this, and then, you know, we'll see what the future holds if you know, what it looks like, you know, in a year from now. But the biggest thing is his health, physically and mentally, and everybody just supporting him in that way.
And I'm sure, yeah, you just kind of hit it there, Sonny, but I'm sure the first thing that a lot of folks want to know is, does he have another year of eligibility? I know he's redshirted, but I don't know if the COVID stuff, if it's still adding up in the numbers or what. Does he have any eligibility left at Louisiana Tech or in college or not?
Yeah, he does have another year left.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's something. And like, I talked to him yesterday. Yeah, that's a possibility. But, and that, you know, like I shared with him, I said, man, that's an option. So, you know, that's out there. But the biggest thing is, let's get this knee taken care of and mentally get you in a good frame of mind. And then we'll worry about that later on. If, you know, whenever that we got to cross that bridge.
It's been mentioned before, the linebacker room and linebacker play has been one of the strong suits of this team all season long. And now the depth of that linebacker crew is going to be put to the test here as the season rolls through. Had some young fellows step up, and, of course, that includes that Golden Tornado who got the Freshman of the Week honors, Alonzo Jackson Jr. there. Who else is going to be kind of dependent on to fill that void? Because we've seen at the highest levels of football, at the collegiate level and high school level even, Coach, sometimes when the main stud goes down, everything kind of collapses inward like a black hole. How do you keep this ship upright, and who's going to be one kind of supporting the sails?
Yeah, on defense, you know, you saw Alonzo when Makai Mason had his targeting call the first drive of the third quarter. That's when Alonzo got his opportunity and really made the most of it and did a great job. And then you'll see Jaden Mayfield and Zierra Keel. I mean, two Ruston High kids that are really good football players that have a lot of leadership qualities. I think you'll see them, you know, really play a lot more and emerge and make plays. And that's the thing that I think with our team defensively, you know, I think you'll see a guy like Michael Richard, I think, emerge a little bit more as a leader and kind of step out there. You know, I think Chief will do it. Chief Leota, you know, 42, I think he's going to step in and be able to do that and you know, kind of bear that load a little bit from a leadership standpoint. You know, Makai Mason, you know, and I think those Jakari Foster, I think those are the guys that will absorb, you know, the on-the-field leadership, you know, loss that we have with Kobe leaving. I think they'll do that, and then I think that room's in great shape, and I think our defense is in great shape from a leadership standpoint, from the tone that, you know, that Luke set, from the tone that we've established as a team, but then also as the tone that I think Colby has established internally, because the players have started to do it, and they've started to lead on that side. And so that's where, I still feel, really confident about, that side of the ball and our team. And I think that this group, it's kind of one of those things that they're in the third quarter. I think defensively we had to call them up and talk to the kids in that moment. And I think they really, it's something else that that can galvanize you as a unit and can galvanize you as a team, kind of in an odd way.
Coach, your bye week is coming up this weekend. No game this weekend. Then, of course, a Thursday turnaround at Kennesaw State. Do you feel like this bye week could not have come at a better time, actually, with the situation with Colby, with the offense? You want to get them in the right spot. The defense, you want to get in the right spot, and then kind of hit the pedal to the metal for the push through Conference USA the rest of the way? Or do you wish that the bye week wasn't this week because of all the good momentum that you have built up with 3 straight wins?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately the time will tell, I think, with how we use it. But right. I think that I want us to be very intentional with it. I do think it's at a good time, though, Tim, because we didn't get home from UTEP until 6:30 in the morning. It was a long trip, got delayed on the way back, and then that takes its toll on your guys. So we didn't have to come up, on Sunday and Monday to get them up here. And so we'll be able to catch our breath a little bit, players and coaches, be able to evaluate, self-scout, I think will be very much needed. And I think it will be able to try to, rebound a little bit, have a really good place in playing at linebacker. And then also it gives us some other time, like through special teams, because now all of a sudden you're going to see Mayfield and Zierk Hill play more on defense. Well, now special teams, they're playing a lot on special teams. And so now the trickle-down effect is, hey, we've got to try to start getting some other guys ready to take those reps and to play winning football on special teams, which, we'll take some of that time this week to do. And then I think the schedule in October, it sets up great for us. I mean, we're on the road one time out of the 3 games. It's a Thursday night. We come, and it's Atlanta, so it's not a long trip. And then we come back and have a few days to catch our breath and then get ready for a Tuesday night home game against Western Kentucky. And then we have a few days to catch our breath against Sam Houston on Halloween and on homecoming weekend. So I think you got 3 games in the month of October, really, the way it looks. And I know we play there at the end. We play as we transition into November, we've got a game. But it's a good setup, and so we need to make sure that we make the most of it. And I think that, we will and have a great plan to make our football team better through this time.
Well, you kind of hit something that was leading into, Sonny. Once again, Sonny Cumbie joining us, part of our Spell Brothers Lumber Tech Tuesday. Spell Brothers Lumber, of course, locally owned by Louisiana Tech alum John Salmons, home of Hot Shot Delivery Service, 1321 Martin Lane, 318-747-1194. Spell Brothers Lumber bringing you Tech Tuesday. Coach, you've got, 12 days between games between UTEP and Kennesaw, and then it's 12 days between Kennesaw State and Western Kentucky, 10 days before the Sam Houston game, and then even after that you get 8 days before you have to go to Delaware following that. So it feels like that that the schedule is really conducive for the latter half of the season as far as the bumps and bruises kind of guys, the low ankle sprains, the shoulder sprains that might have been out after a 5-day or 6-day wait like you had last year with these midweek games. It felt like y'all played 3 games in 14 days, for Pete's sake, if I remember right. Something like that, wasn't it, Hassell? Like 3 games in 15 days? The opposite is this year, but it also presents challenges, I would assume, for a coaching staff now, that instead of having the rhythm of once every 7 days or once every 6 days and 7 days and 6 days, to have that kind of length of time. Has this had to alter a lot of what you guys were planning on doing practice-wise? Typically is going to be altered because of all this downtime between games?
Yeah, I think that football is such a rhythm game, and rhythm and routine is such a big part of what we do with our players on a daily basis. And this does throw you out of whack a little bit because once we start practicing for Kennesaw, like our Saturday practice is our Tuesday practice. And as much as I try to, you try to get everybody in that mode of, hey, this is a Tuesday, this is a Wednesday, there's other things that, hey, it's a Saturday, there's games on all day, there's, UFC, all these different things. The routine of that day is different for those kids. And so, but I do think that the rest time is really important, just because I think that it does allow kids that may have been banged up in this UTEP game that might not have been full strength if we would have played on Saturday. It does allow you the opportunity to get those guys back. And I think with everything with your players, it's so much about how you present it and how you sell it to them and show them, hey, here is our plan for this time. And so from an academic standpoint, allow yourself to get ahead. From a health standpoint, allow yourself to get ahead, because I have to do a good job of teaching our kids, like, just because it's a bye week, it does not mean it's an off week. It doesn't mean you don't do the things like prehab. You don't go to school. You don't do the study hall. Like this means it's a time like, oh, I got to maximize those things. And I think that's where we have a group that is older, but we've got to do a good job of coaches of setting that tone. And I love the routine of the season. I love the routine of every Monday and every Tuesday, talking to you guys. Then we got an 8 o'clock staff meeting, and now it's a little bit different. We were on the road recruiting yesterday, coaching wise. And so now we push things back and all those things though, but just having a good plan. I think teaching the kids what we're doing, why we're doing it. And then at the end of the day, I think once we get into game week, that'll settle back in, and we'll crank up the practice intensity, the practice lengths, and they'll feel it, and then they'll get themselves ready in another frame of mind to win a football game.
Well, I'm also trying to help out here, Coach, with just a little suggestion. And this comes from a grandfather point of view, with Gray and Hayes, who are now kind of probably accustomed to it's Saturday, where's the water being thrown on us? And so I'm suggesting that sometime Saturday afternoon at the Cumbie household that there is some water bottles open and sprayed all over the house.
Well, that was probably the most disappointing part of the trip for Hayes and Gray was post-game in El Paso. They didn't get any water thrown on them. They were very disappointed about that. They had several questions about why we didn't do that on the road.
So maybe they can get
Well, we had a Hey, we were in El Paso, so we had a piñata to celebrate.
There we go. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you do right there. And let them know that there is, like when you lose on a game show, they have the parting gifts are of the home version of the game. Well, I think there should be a home version of the locker room celebration for Gray and Hayes, and I'm sure that Tamara will enjoy the heck out of that.
On Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure she will love that. That's good stuff. Coach, our best at Colby. I feel so horrible for that young man because he was just at the top of his game, and so hopefully that things go well.
He's
and
the best.
The medical personnel take care of business the way that they're supposed to do it, and everything comes out nice and good for him and stronger than ever. So best of luck to him, and look forward to visiting with you again next week, Coach.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good week.
You too. Sonny Cumbie, head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, part of our Tech Tuesday, brought to you by Spell Brothers Lumber. JP in the house. JP. SpellBrosLumber.com. 1321 Martin Lane in Bossier, 318-747-1194, featuring hot shot delivery service. And no, that doesn't mean that Rogers is delivering it, even though he does bring a hot shot mentality to it. That means when you buy your materials from Spell Brothers Lumber, whether it's doors, windows, hardware, or more, it's going to be delivered promptly and efficiently to your work site. That's what Spell Brothers Lumber does. But they also bring you that small town, hometown feel. If there is undamaged or unused materials from your job, then you're like, well, I don't have any use for these 5 sheets of plywood here, but they've been under a tarp and they're not damaged. What do we do with them? Call Spell Brothers Lumber and say, hey, fellas, you know that plywood we bought from you? We didn't end up using all of it. And it's all right here, ready to roll. Spell Brothers Lumber will come pick up that undamaged, unused material and give you a store credit. That's what you call customer service. That's what John Solomons and his crew does. Brings it to the forefront. 1321 Martin Lane in Bossier, just northeast of Bossier High, between I-20 and East Texas. Spell Brothers Lumber bringing you Tech Tuesday, and tomorrow morning our Lay in the Lumber Award winner for the week as well. Hambone is here, Hester is here, and Fuzzy's Taco Shop is there, and they're open for business right now. Drew is back from vacation, and you know he's ready to serve up some wonderful, fluffy, delicious breakfast burritos and breakfast tacos for you right now, you lucky sons of guns who are out and about. All you got to do is stop by 4600 East Texas in Bossier City, take the industrial exit off I-20, and you'll be right there going north. Can't miss it. We'll be back with your SEC update with Hambone, Hester, plus Monday Night Football last night. Major League Baseball playoffs get underway. College football ramps up for another wonderful weekend. All kind of fun stuff coming up during the Power Hour, brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes right after this. The Cleanup Hour is brought to you by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Fuzzy's breakfast tacos and breakfast burritos are ready for you at 8 o'clock every single morning. And don't forget their daily specials. Happy Hour, 2 to 6, Fuzzy's Taco Shop, 4600 East Texas in Bossier City.
Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers built a practice on representing real people with real injuries and have obtained real results. Their success stories speak for themselves. They know and have experience with the best doctors and experts in their fields to provide the best care. If you or a loved one are injured, it is extremely important to choose the right lawyer. To see what they've done for others or to schedule a free consultation, visit morrisdewitt.com. Paid non-lawyer spokesperson, Shreveport, Trey Morris, LA 2417189. Results may vary.
Hey, y'all, this is Eddie Kennison. As a former Tiger and pro athlete, I know what it feels like not to be at your peak. If you're tired, losing strength, or just not feeling like yourself, it could be low testosterone. That's where Rejuvamine Medical comes in. Their team knows how to help you regain energy, performance, and confidence on and off the field. It's real people right down the street with real support from a medical team that listens and real results you can feel. Schedule your consult today at RejuvaMeMedical.com. That's REJUVIME Medical.com.
We know that when the air conditioner goes kaput, we call Accutem. When the heat's on the fritz, you call Accutem. The best way to get this whole thing started is when you begin to put in a new unit, just call Accutem. No more kaput, no more fritz. 861-2255. GBT has been our stand by us bank for quite some time when it comes to a bank that delivers service, that delivers financial products, that delivers modern banking at your fingertips. I can think of nobody better than GBT, the great banking team. The Brewer Quality Homes Power Hour from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, brought to you by Donnie Brewer's Crew, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. When you're looking for a beautiful manufactured home for $60, $70, $80, $90 a square foot, you know where to go. The BQH at 3830 East Texas.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Your home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
Marvin sends a photo. He has just pulled up to Fuzzy's Taco Shop. You lucky son of a gun.
Good for you, man. Good for you, man.
Yeah, there it is. There's Fuzzy's Taco Shop. He's the first one in line. Way to go, Doc. Welcome back to the show, guys. Our show presented by Alsco. Alsco.com, 6360404. Your home for uniforms, linens, facility care, and more. Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City, Louisiana. Oh, yeah. Let's do a little SEC update, shall we, Raj? I call Raj Mataj. That's one of Hester's nicknames for him. It's kind of catching on. Instead of Razzmatazz, Raj Mataj. Oh, brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo Harris. A trip without a plan has left a chance. A goal without a plan for success is a plan to fail. What are you thinking about when you wake up at 2 in the morning? If it has anything to do with your financial goals, that's what you need to be discussing with a trusted financial advisor. Bo Harris Wealth Management bringing you the SEC update, your schedule for this weekend. Couple of schools off, obviously, including the LSU Tigers, but Kentucky and Georgia play between the hedges at 11 a.m. I don't think there's enough points to get spread out in this one, Hester. Feels like that the casket on the Mark Stoops coaching tenure at Kentucky is being built. Your Texas Longhorns, after a bye week, take their 3-1 record, first SEC game for the 9th-ranked Horns, down into the swamp. And, Esther, it's got to be make or break for Napier at this point.
Yeah, but I think it's a tough game still.
I think it's a very tough game. Florida plays good defense.
They do.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but Texas has struggled offensively. This could be one of those, maybe it's a James Simon breakout game.
That would be great.
Give him the ball.
Texas got to be better at guard. Or it won't matter.
Is that where the rush is coming from on?
Yeah, the two guards
run stops and everything.
Have been pretty bad. Yeah.
Again, I was watching games last night and I'm like, why aren't people just making better offensive linemen?
Because they're in the NFL now. They lost 3 of them, and so now you got to go buy new ones, and you have no idea if they're going to be good or not.
You have no clue.
No, he played at Virginia Tech last year.
LSU spent more money than anybody on the offensive line transfer portal.
Yeah, you don't have a clue if it's going to work or not.
And so far, it is not showing up well.
And wait till next year when you can't do it after spring.
Yep, good point.
You know,
if it goes through that way,
maybe that's better. I don't know.
No one knows. Recruit high school kids.
And
develop them. 2:30 on ABC, the big game where College Game Day will be. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the 16th ranked Vanderbilt Commodores 5-0. I remember personally laughing at what's his name, Clark Lee. Is that his name? The head coach. When he said that they were going to be a dominant program in the SEC soon. Ha ha ha! You silly man.
The Arkansas guy left.
You're Vanderbilt. That's right. The Razorback is laughing at you. Sir, we are much closer to being elite than you'll ever be. Oh, we just fired our coach? We just put in the hell-raising, motorcycle-riding, marriage-busting man as the head coach? Oh, and you're undefeated with perhaps a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback? Okie dokie. Maybe you did know what you were talking about, Coach. That should be a fun one.
I have a feeling Alabama's...
I think they're hitting the stride.
Been counting down the days, perhaps, for this one.
And it might have to do with the guy that I just mentioned. Diego Pavia. Rico Suave. At 3 o'clock on the SEC Network, Oklahoma has a tough one on their hands. Kent State at 1-3. Nick Saban is not coaching that team. And Blake Shapen and the Mississippi State Bulldogs have to try to figure out a way to pull themselves back up by the bootstraps after a gut-wrenching loss at home to Tennessee that they had. They had it. They were going to be 5-0, 1-0, and ranked. Instead, they're 4-1, 0-1, and now here's where Mississippi State's going to start tumbling. They go to Texas A&M in the Battle of the Maroon and Whites. The Sherrill Bowl. Is that any other connections we can think of there? I think Jackie Sherrill's about the best one.
The Independence Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Independence Bowl. The replay of the Snow Bowl.
Let's have some snow.
Let's do it. Johnny Manziel is there. Who knows? 6:30 kick on SEC Network. It's Mississippi State at 6th ranked Texas A&M. The Aggies with everything ahead of them for a dream season. Can Mississippi State alter that? And that's your SEC update. Brought to you by Captain Shreve, LSU, Cincinnati Bengal legend Bo Harris, who wants to have a cup of coffee with you to discuss your investment game plan. The preceding SEC update has been brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management, and the following is a paid advertisement for Bo Harris, Certified Financial Planner, CFP, Certified Investment Management Analyst, SEMA. Securities offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, that's WFAFN. Member SIPC, Bo Harris Wealth Management of Conservative Financial is a separate entity from WFAFN. Yes, sir. Bo Harris, WM.com, 318-670-3101. Excuse me. I don't even know where to put the WD-40 in this thing. I'm not going to do it. All right.
You don't have to do that.
Hester, did you watch the Monday night doubleheader?
No, I have a job.
Huh?
What? I got home at 9 o'clock, boss. So I didn't care.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't care anything about either one of those games.
Well, I did.
Good.
I cared for
you.
You
And Rogers can talk about. I'm in a nap over here while that happens.
Not a problem.
Okay,
Tyreek Hill done for the year with a grotesquely injured knee.
That's pretty bad.
That was not good.
Not just your ankle hanging. Your
Whole lower leg was dangling.
He's like, somebody said something about, hey, man, if you really don't want to play with Tua, you don't have to do all that or something.
There's easier ways to make an exit from Miami. Boy. And how he was smiling and waving to the crowd afterwards. Because maybe maybe that's what they were saying he's done with Tua. But apparently when you dislocate a knee, there's a very good chance that the ligaments are all
torn ACL and ligament.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On a grass surface, but
on a grass surface.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
It was ugly. Yeah, this is not like a juju. look at Juju in women's basketball at USC. She's already out for the year this year. So how severe was that knee injury last year?
She just doesn't want to play in college, guys.
But she's getting paid more there than she would in the WNBA.
She's still going to get paid.
Jaden Daniels' mom approves.
Until the way off topic, but until the European clubs start paying way more than what the WNBA is paying, and then we'll see how that works.
Yeah. Oh, and then
which
don't
is
forget,
coming, by the way.
And then the other league, what's the other league that the women
The
have?
competing deal?
Yeah. That
they're going to have to.
Galen's not a part of it.
Right. There's other ways now.
Miami did claim their first win of the season, though, with a 27-21 win over the still winless New York Jets. The Jets turned the ball over 3 times, penalized 13 times. Justin Fields, you look on the surface, once again, I watched the whole game. He was 20 out of 27, 226 yards, a touchdown, 81 yards, a touchdown, running. Did fumble one time that led to a score. You look at that and go, Justin Fields played great.
They're good enough,
Good enough to win, but you watch the game and it's like, he
It's
really
very
didn't
strange.
play that well. He's still not a good passer.
It's a strange deal with him.
And they are now, like, in the fourth quarter, in every game that he has been behind in the fourth quarter as a starter, he's never won a game from behind in the fourth quarter. Like 0-26 or something like that. And he is the only quarterback to have that kind of a record with that number of opportunities. And I like the guy. Kind of heavily invested in the guy.
I've always kind of said that too. I think he's a likable dude. He just kind of seems to put his head down and go to work.
But watch these throws over here on the NFL Network, Esther. They're showing the bad ones, and this is the fumble, and just they can't get out of their own way.
How is their offensive line? I don't know anything about
it didn't look that bad last night. They gouged Miami on their opening drive. I mean, gouged them. Drove all the way down, and Braylon Allen fumbles right as he's going into the goal line. He's at the 1 yard line, and they punch it from behind.
See, and that's another deal with Breece Hall's a very capable back.
Yeah.
That's another one of those where, hey, I get it. It's the NFL. You
got to have 2 running backs.
Well, you don't want to run the guy too much, quarterback. I get all that. Why are we seeing a little do they run zone read much?
No, it was mostly right up the gut. They were going right up the gut with Hall and Allen opening drive. I mean, 5 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards. Miami was reeling, and I thought, boy, the Jets are going to just spank that arse.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a fumble, and that turned everything around.
3 to 5 times a game. Why don't you run a zone read?
Yeah.
Why don't you bring both backs in and run like a true you can't run the option every play.
Your quarterback's going to get killed, but you already have him out there running around.
Right.
So
a couple times a game. Do something different that makes them have to honor it. To where you give that play action look a little bit later, and I don't know. I don't think it has to be completely. Oh, well, we can't run him.
Right.
We can't possibly do that.
If you want to win a game, he's your best option. And Garrett Wilson had maybe the catch of the year for his touchdown. That gave you your win over me.
That guy needs to get out of there.
He's got to get out of there. Yeah. And I know that he and Justin were teammates at Ohio State, and they were kind of hoping, all right, that's going to lock that in.
Sure.
And they did have some connections last night, but if you haven't seen the catch that Garrett Wilson made for the touchdown last night.
He's incredible.
He really is something else. In the later game last night, Denver evened their record at 2-2 with a 28-3 throttling of the hapless Cincinnati Bengals. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another. He threw the ball so well last night. On probably 80% of his passes were really well done. And, there's some zip on those things.
What was it he was being criticized for?
He had
coming into the game.
He had not had very catchable balls here the last couple of games.
Maybe that
he was leaving guys wide open. He was throwing behind them, overthrows, just ugly.
Yeah.
And who knows, that could be a little shoulder sprain. We don't know the health of these quarterbacks when they have a bad game. The Bengals, by the way, scored on their opening drive on a chip shot field goal. What's his name? Zach Taylor, the head coach.
Yeah.
They had 4th and 2 or whatever on the 8. And Buck and Aikman were like, we're not used to, we're old fossils in this game. We understand, But I don't know. It's almost kind of encouraging to see someone just get some points on their opening drive instead of going for it every time. Well, the next 9 times the Bengals got the ball, they punted.
But it's the first drive. So, yeah, kick a field goal.
Oh, I get the kicking a field goal. But I think that McKay probably in his thought process was, we'll get points here. Yeah. And that'll add on to the points we're going to get later because we moved the ball down the field pretty well. They did nothing after that.
Yeah.
The only drive that did not result in a punt was the drive at the end of the second quarter that was the end of the half. 9 drives, all punts. They are terrible. And they've already talked about on the show before us, and I'm sure others as well, they need another quarterback pronto. So
they brought in a couple, right? Like Mike White came in there for
a look-see.
Something. There was like 2 or 3 of them.
This is one of those things where, look, you're 2-2, and if they explained as well what Burrow's injury really is. I never really knew what turf toe was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what turf toe was, Raj?
I did after Deion's deal.
That it's a torn ligament under your toe.
It's a way worse thing than people hear that. People hear turf toe and they're like, "What are you, a pansy?"
Right. Like I just thought it was like a bad stub toe that was almost like a broken bone, maybe.
After Deion's deal,
toe.
I remember that it becoming more of a like explanation of what it was.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, okay, crap, that sounds terrible."
And then as they put it last night, Troy Aikman's talking about how Deion's turf toe. That's the one he brought up. They said that, turf toe, it's really painful and it's really bad. It's a torn ligament underneath your toe.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy said, my good friend Deion Sanders, it's affected him his whole life.
Yeah.
And on our text, our guys are like, that's not good for Burrow.
No.
If it's affected Deion his entire life to this day, and it happened 35 years ago or whatever.
That's it. Well, the only thing you hope is they've got better ways to treat him now, Yeah.
You would think, but it is not good. And so I think there are so many of us, and myself included, that, Burrow might be on a timetable where he might be able to come back sooner than 3 months if they could just hold serve. Yeah. And then here comes Superman off the bench,
They're better off just
Willis Reed limping into the finals. And Burrow's going to take him to the Super Bowl? No.
If they're gonna rock with Jake Browning, which I know last year, he did really well.
They signed him to a new little deal,
but
2-year, $10 million
it's just not happening. And so they did not sign those guys, any of those guys they brought in, because Brett Rippon is still the backup. But you got to
reach out to Jameis.
When is their bye week?
Cousins. They may have a bye week this coming.
See, I think though. And especially knowing how their ownership works.
Let it ride, get a high draft pick.
Let it ride, get a high draft pick. Let's not bring, we got to move pieces to get Jameis or Cousins. We need pieces to waste on positions that aren't the offensive line.
We want to pay these receivers that we can't protect the quarterback to get the ball to them.
We have no way to protect them, but
the Bengals, oh, God.
Guys, just remember, they
host the Lions Sunday.
Yeah. My survivor pick is the Detroit Lions. This is the organization that their first-round draft pick went back to college.
Wanted to, yeah.
Not a guy who pulled his name out of the draft. A guy that was drafted in the first round. And they couldn't figure it out, and he went back to school. Which I didn't know you could do until this year, until a couple of months ago. It's a horrible franchise.
They're not good. Not good.
The repeated ignoring of the offensive line when you have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is one of those guys you could probably talk into taking less money. Like, hey, if you took less, no, here's a boatload of it. But we're
going to give T. Higgins this too.
We are, and here you go. Here's a T. Higgins. Are you happy now? The guys blocking in front of you are turnstiles, but you got those 2 other guys you could throw to. How does that sound?
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah. All right, Bengals lose 28-3. By the way, the teams that are off this week, the bye week: Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh. So there you go.
Yeah, it's already time for that.
Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City, where Donnie Brewer will let you know they've got some sweet deals right now on beautiful brand new manufactured homes for $70, $80, $90 a square foot, as opposed to the $240, $260, even more that you'll pay for site-built homes? Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Speaking of Bossier, our show also presented to you by Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where they've got 0% financing available. They also have LSU home game tickets to give away. Stop by. You get an entry just by stopping by the dealership. 5 entries if you refer a friend. 10 if you go for a test drive or have your vehicle serviced there, and 30 entries into a drawing for home game tickets for LSU game, an upcoming LSU game. 30 tickets if you buy a vehicle. And why wouldn't you buy right now at Landers? They've got 0% financing. Ahooga! 2701 Benton Road, just south of I-220, underneath the 2,400 square foot American flag. GoLanders.com. Go see Denny, Trey, and Steve at Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. And we'll be back right after this.
11:30 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
When you hear this voice, you think of yesteryear, I hope. Grandpa's voice as he unwraps that Werther's and pops it in his mouth, and all of a sudden he's got to talk like this. I'm trying to get you to think of the good times back in the day. Back then, houses were affordable. Now, not so much. Except at Brewer Quality Homes. Grandpa's Werther's and a decent down payment get you a beautiful brand new home. Brewer Quality Homes. You know me, I love football. I love watching the game with buddies. We're over at a friend's place, man. We got the grill going. The drinks are ice cold. The conversation is flowing. We're in a great place, and all of a sudden we start the football game, and this total setup, absolute chaos. Lagging, buffering, and switching between apps, trying to find the game. We got to close that one and open that one, close that one too. I thought I closed it twice. Now it's closed the whole TV down. He claimed he was a big fan, but I feel like I have been fan-fished. If you call yourself a football fan, you got to have Xfinity. You get all the best games all in one place, plus enhanced 4K, so it feels like you're in the stadium. Next game day, make sure you're that big fan and not a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra. And, of course, subject to change. Don't get fan-fished. Live Oak Waste is here to take care of your trash every single day. Why are you worried about that? That is the last thing that should be on your mind. You've got a business to run, a school to take care of, a restaurant to take care of, a retail center. Why are you worried about your trash? Stop fretting. Just call Live Oak, 230-7125, 230-7125. Hit the website, liveoak-environmental.com. Live Oak Waste, bringing you the text line on the Tim Fletcher Show.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for sports.
Welcome back, guys. Tim Fletcher Show, 8:24 the time. Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Our show also brought to you by the Chop Shop. Did you guys see what the Chop Shop has for lunch today?
You have to tell me. That's your job.
All right.
You have to tell us. Yes.
It's ridiculous. The Swamp Dog. House-made andouille sausage, smothered with a creamy crawfish queso on a fluffy hoagie bun topped with green onions. Come get you some. They also have smash burgers available every day as well. Both come with their tallow fried chips. Buddy, look at this thing, Hester. Look at the size of that thing.
No, that's
massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
That's saying something there. That's
Chop Shop, 724 Azalea Drive, right off Line Avenue. It's where you get the local farm-raised beef, chicken, eggs, dairy products, and so much more. Get you a hot lunch. Remember, at Chop Shop, eat clean, live dirty. That's the motto of Sample Farms and Chop Shop. And, buddy, you can eat clean at Chop Shop. Their assortment of meats available at the Whole Animal Butchery Shop is just amazing. You'll love it. 724 Azalea Drive. Lunch available today, including the Swamp Dog.
Swamp Dog.
Hester, you have a correction to make?
Shalimar.
Yes.
That plays for the Bengals.
Yes.
So he did sign.
His
contract.
Correct.
But if a tree falls in the forest, Tim.
Also correct.
I just remember that them saying he could go back. So I'd never heard. I don't keep up with the Bengals, but I never heard that he actually did agree to a deal. It was just it got so late because it was July, right? It was like late July.
It was late July, almost August.
Yeah, so he is with the Bengals.
Yes.
But the fact that he even could go back to A&M, I was like, I didn't know you could do that. But he is with Cincinnati, so he did not go back to college. But does it really matter with his both of his tackles that he's made this year? He's made 2 of them. And one of them was solo and the other one was assisted. He's made 1 solo tackle this season as a first-round draft pick. This is where Roger Goodell can come in and use his power and force the Bengals to only draft offensive linemen for the next 2 years with all of their picks. If you take 13 offensive linemen, you can find 5. Because now you're drafting defensive linemen.
He's got a high upside.
He's got 2 tackles. They've played 4 games. I know he's been injured. He's hurt.
He's got an ankle injury now. They don't know when he's going to return.
I wonder how much he wants to return, Tim.
And how maybe they don't even want him to return.
I think maybe he should have gone back to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It's going really well down there. Cincinnati is 2-2, by the way. Is that right?
Yes.
Why and how?
Browning came in
He
at
came
the
in and
second
won the
game
Jacksonville
and
game,
kind of rallied them there
And
and
they
made everyone
barely-
think they won the opener.
They barely won the
opener against the Browns. Remember, it was one of those where a lot of people almost went out in Survivor again because of the Bengals. But then Browning came in and played so well. They're like, see, they've got just the right guy. They may not even miss Joe Burrow.
Their next 3 games, by the way, Lions at Green Bay, and then Pittsburgh, who's figured it out a little bit. That seems bad.
That's 2-5 staring you in the face. 5 straight losses.
They get the Jets and the Bears after that, but the Bears, I think the Bears
are
then
spunky. They'll be fine. I think the Bears will be A-okay.
The Ravens, they don't play the Ravens until November 27th.
And they'll have it figured out.
And the Ravens will have it figured out by then. They go Ravens, Bills, Ravens in a 3-game stretch.
Browning may want to do the old my arm, it's broken.
Maybe Mike White by then.
It might be Easton Stick by then. It could be Cooper Rush, Ben DiNucci, Tommy DeVito.
You imagine they call Mike White back, and he's like, golf is going well out here.
My dad's insurance agency is getting ready to roll over. I'm thinking about just getting my license.
Hey, I've been in Tampa for 4 weeks. I don't even live here. Like, I'm just down here. Like,
I'll just every now and then Baker and I'll just go have lunch.
Please believe that's the exact life that I would have. Like,
No
if
doubt.
I was one of those guys, especially if I wasn't married.
Yeah.
Hey, I've just been in Tampa for a month. Do you live there? No. I just kind of hanging out. I have a lot of money for not all that much work.
I got a little golf game going,
Go and work out a couple days a week, just keeping the arm loose.
Before it gets too cold, I'm going to go back up to Buffalo and go check on Josh and those guys that I was at camp with. They're good dudes.
Maybe I'll call him. I don't want to go to Buffalo. Give him a ring. Yeah.
Go check on my fellas.
The phone works from Tampa really well.
It does.
You live there? No, I don't live there. I have a summer home and a winter home.
And a spring and fall home
just
as well.
Bounce around. It's great. Because all those guys have investments, too, that pay off just remarkably well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best job that there is, really. Be a second-string quarterback. Occasionally I've had to come in and throw a few balls, Or a guy gets hurt. I got to play 4 or 5 games, That money just keeps going up, and they keep just employing obscure quarterbacks to be backups.
Right.
And here I am still doing this. Who is the one guy? Not
Rush.
He had to play.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
The Allen boys,
Yeah. Those dudes play like 10 years.
Mhm.
And that minimum salary just keeps going up. And they're vested.
I presume. Let's see here.
What a great life that is.
It's not a bad life. Nah, it's not a hard knock life there, buddy.
Josh Johnson can't believe that. He's like, the phone just keeps ringing. Like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
I really.
Phone keeps ringing.
Terod Taylor's like, I swear I thought I was out.
He had to have a lung puncture though.
Yeah, he had to.
His is rough.
Wasn't good. And of course, we are through 4 weeks of the season in the NFL, and moving into Week 5. Saints still winless, of course. Andy Dalton's the backup in Carolina still. Do you think Andy Dalton?
Anytime Bryce Young is slow to get up, he's like, "Oh, come on, man,
get up,
come on,
You
don't
got
do
this. Come on, brother, you got this.
I got faith. I believe in you. Come on, man."
Your Green Bay backup. You know who that is?
No.
Malik Willis.
That's where he is.
Do you know who's backing up Kyler Murray?
I feel like I should, but I don't know.
This is fantastic.
I have no idea.
Jacoby Brissett. Still alive.
Those guys will never die. Those guys will just never die. Teddy Bridgewater came back to doing this.
Yes, he did.
He's like, the job market sucks. I have to go back to playing football.
I'm
again.
banned from the high school federation.
Yeah, that was a weird deal, yeah.
Jalen Hurts backups.
They've changed, haven't they?
They love Tanner McKee, but they also still have slinging Sam Howell out there.
Yeah, that's right. He did end up there.
Let's see.
Josh Johnson's making $1 million this year.
Case Keenum is still on a Bears roster right now.
Lovely. Isn't that great?
Case Keenum.
Josh Johnson's making $1 million to not play still, even though Jaden missed games.
Right.
Because Mariota's there.
Correct.
Amazing.
And if you were wondering, I sure hope Nick Mullins has found a calling in life. Yeah, it's to be the backup for Trevor Lawrence right now.
Amazing. How much money has that guy made, Nick Mullins? He's been because he's done it for a while.
He's done it for a long time.
He had to play a little bit too in San Francisco.
Let's go to the Nick Mullins spot track and check it out. His career earnings, $10.8 million for good old Nick Mullins.
For how many years?
He's been still alive.
So that retirement's definitely hitting for him because he's been out for way longer than 3 years and 3 games.
He has been around since 2017. Niners through 2020.
He had to play a little bit there.
Browns and Eagles in 2021. Raiders and Vikings in 22. Vikings in 23, 24. Jaguars this year.
Lovely.
They're paying him $2.5 million to ride the pine behind Trevor Lawrence.
No state tax. It's beautiful, you know.
The Eagles just gave him $200,000 to come hang out.
Just hang out with us. We like having you around.
Can you can you hang out? The Raiders gave him $692,000 for a year.
Josh Johnson's roster bonus is more than my yearly salary when you add up all of the things that I do.
Yeah.
His roster bonus. His roster bonus.
Outside of ex-coaches, backup quarterbacks.
His workout bonus. If you put his signing and his workout bonus together, also more.
The Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Major League Baseball playoffs get underway today. All 4 wild card series, best of 3, all at the host team's stadium. If it goes 3 games, they don't switch. It's all right there at the higher-seeded team. So we will get into that as well. Matter of fact, it may be a part of your LSU update coming up here in just a little bit. Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Our show also brought to you by Rejuva Medical, 318-408-4080. Rejuva Medical, when it comes to taking care of you for low T, when it comes to taking care of your weight loss needs, Rejuva Medical. Not just online at rejuvamemedical.com, that's REJUVIME medical.com, but also literally down the street, that away and then that away. Right there. Line Avenue, Piermont Mall, Suite 8, right across from Brookshire's and right next to Chop Shop on Azalea. RejuvaMeMedical.com. We'll be back with your LSU update right after this. Brewer Quality Homes has been a part of the Tim Fletcher Show for many, many years, and it's one of the favorite things we do on the show is what hemisphere is Donnie Brewer in right now? Where do you think he is?
Where in the world is Donnie Brewer? I'm going to say Argentina.
That's not bad. I was thinking Peru, so we're kind of in the
South
same
America?
neighborhood. Yeah.
All right.
Probably some kind of a Peruvian blowfish type antelope that he's on a hunt for.
Did you just combine 2 animals?
No, but Donnie Brewer does
Okay.
because that's what he can do.
If anybody can, it's him.
Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Bell Brothers Lumber, located at 1321 Martin Lane in Bossier City, just northeast of Bossier High between I-20 and East Texas, 318-747-1194. They are truly your local lumber company. They can do it all. Window installation, lumber supply, custom cabinets and doors, expert guidance and planning, hardware, and yes, hot shot delivery service where they'll bring your lumber and hardware needs right to your doorstep. Get in touch with Spell Brothers Lumber, locally owned and operated, 747-1194.
You don't need a holiday to pick up a delicious Honey Baked ham. Anytime is a great time to enjoy one of their sweet hams or turkeys. Honey Baked also offers a great selection of gift packages made to fit any occasion. Their menu and good service are just 2 reasons to stop by and order. Looking for lunch? They have a great deli offering deli-style sandwiches along with all the fixings, a cookie, and a drink. That's Honey Baked Hams, located at 5739 Uri Drive in Shreveport. To learn more, go to myhoneybakedstore.com.
Who knew that wallpaper is making a comeback? I tell you who knew. River Cities Lighting. Yeah, the same folks who have your interior lighting, your exterior lighting, your wall accoutrement. They also have your wallpaper. River Cities Lighting, 3908 Shed Road, rivercitieslighting.com. Keeping you up to date on everything associated with LSU, River Cities Lighting. The LSU updates at the bottom of the hour, every hour of the Tim Fletcher Show, brought to you by River Cities Lighting, 3908 Shed Road, rivercitieslighting.com, bringing bright ideas to people every day.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Fox Sports plays here.
Welcome back, boys and girls. Tim Fletcher Show. Rogers, Hembone, Hampton, and Adam Hester here. Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City, Louisiana. The Brew Crew getting the job done on a regular basis. They've been around for over 50 years. Beautiful brand new Cabco, Franklin, and Jessup homes available at 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Time now for your River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery LSU update. RiverCitiesLighting.com. They've got light fixtures for inside, light fixtures for outside, recessed, excess, Inverness, Scotland. Okay. They got Scottish themed lights. Exactly. I'm sure. Ask Lori, Heather, and Courtney about their Scottish themed lights. You know?
Rogers, put on How I Made Your X-Men or whatever.
Yeah.
Put that on.
Bringing you this LSU update. 5 former LSU Tigers have the ability to participate in the 2025 playoffs in the big league starting today. Former LSU stars who are eligible to appear on Major League Baseball playoff rosters are third baseman Alex Bregman of the Boston Red Sox, right-handed pitcher Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies, right-handed pitcher Kevin Gossman, the Gas Man. How does he know I've got gas? Of the Toronto Blue Jays. Right-handed pitcher Alex Lang of the Detroit Tigers and right-handed pitcher Paul Gervais of the Los Angeles Dodgers. A total of 45 former Tigers have been a part of Major League Baseball playoff teams since 1990. 15 former players have been members of World Series championship teams in that span, including Bregman, who was on the Astros World Series title teams in 2017 and 2022. Detroit faces the Guardians in Game 1 of the best-of-3 American League Wild Card Series starting today at high noon. Red Sox open AL Wild Card Series against the Yankees at 5 o'clock at Yankee Stadium. Dodgers and Reds get going at 8 o'clock tonight at Dodger Stadium. The only series that doesn't have an LSU player, the Cubs and the Padres. They get going at 2 o'clock. By the way, the Phillies and Blue Jays each have first-round byes. They'll await their playoff fate until Saturday. So there we go. 5 LSU Tigers in the baseball playoffs. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll work.
And that's your LSU update. And it's brought to you by River Cities Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City, rivercitieslighting.com. When it comes to your light fixture needs, when it comes to your wallpaper needs, when it comes to your rug needs. Plus, big-ass fans. rivercitieslighting.com. Major League Baseball playoffs today.
Mm-hmm.
4 games. All waiting for you. On ESPN at noon, Tigers and Guardians. At ABC at 2:08, Padres and Cubs. And ESPN has both games this evening. Red Sox, Yankees at 5. Reds, Dodgers at 8. Home teams, I assume, are the favorites.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would love for Cincinnati to beat the Dodgers.
Oh, my gosh.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's a dream scenario.
Yeah. The people of Cincinnati deserve this after the way that their football team let them down
just
repeatedly.
Gutted them.
It's a beautiful little area down there by the stadium. You know, one stadium on this end, another stadium on that end. Nice little area that connects them both. Right on the river. It's a lovely little place down there. Yeah, guy in the middle. What do you want from me? The Reds have a bunch of dudes on their team that if you like had to do a Cincinnati Red or competition. I mean, we all know De La Cruz.
Well, there's more.
All right, baseball card man. Calm down over there. Who's their second starter?
Riley Green's going to start today, right?
Hunter Green.
I mean,
It'd be pretty amazing if Riley Green's pitching for him today.
Well, the fact that he's a Detroit Tiger. Hunter Green.
Their second starter. Don't look it up.
What's his name? Royals, right?
He's listed as the fourth. Brady Singer is the fourth starter. Andrew Abbott.
Okay.
Their season may be on the line tomorrow with Andrew Abbott.
Hunter Green's going up against Blake Snell tonight.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's pretty
Hunter
good.
Good player, yeah.
And I wonder sometimes they'll go ahead and have the, especially if you know the pitcher in advance and they've had so much time. But
they may have thrown out a different rotation for the playoffs. This is just looking at their depth chart.
Yeah. And there's a handy dandy little website, not the website you're thinking of, but where's the one where
maybe the website you're thinking of?
Oh, here it is. It's called Swish Analytics, that tells you how each player has fared against the pitcher that they are facing today.
Okay.
As far as the most hits by any player facing someone today, Jose Ramirez is 12 for 36 lifetime against Tariq Skubal. But Jose Ramirez is probably 12 for 36 against a lot of players. Yeah. Dansby Swanson, 10 for 34 in his lifetime against Nick Pivetta. That's fun to say. As far as, like, who's really been able to just, like, Andy Pages with the Dodgers is 3 for 5 lifetime against Hunter Green. All 3 hits are home runs. He's got a 600 batting average and a 2,400 slugging percentage. Justin Turner, who may be in the lineup for the Cubs today. Why? Oh, because against Nick Pivetta, he is 5 for 8 lifetime with 2 home runs and 2 doubles. That's so weird that you can have that kind of success, against one guy. Javi Baez facing Gavin Williams today, 3 for 6 lifetime with a home run and a double. And if you think, the Yankees, well, sure, they got so many studs. Their leading hitter against Garrett Crochet is Ahmad Rosario.
Exactly.
Who is 6 for 9 with a home run, 4 singles, and a double in his lifetime against Garrett Crochet. It's just weird. The Red Sox, by the way, have had some success against Max Fried. Trevor Story is 4 for 16 with 2 homers. Nick Sogard, 2 for 3 in his lifetime against him. Nate Eaton, 2 for 3. Alex Bregman, 4 for 13 with a home run. That's a 385 batting average. So even though the aces are on the bump tonight, doesn't mean that there aren't some guys that have had some success. So watch, wager, and win.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Lincoln's Mullet says, welcome to All Things Scottish. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. Can I help you?
It's the best.
Ed in San Marcos is the Arkansas AD calling out Walmart, Tyson, and other potential donors to pony up if they want the Razorbacks to be competitive in football. He's tried that already.
I'm about to say, hadn't that...
He's already
Has it that ship
he's
sailed?
tried to guilt the Waltons into please. But no. And they are a cash-strapped football program in the SEC. Yeah. That is not a good position to be in.
Recipe for disaster.
That's not going to be good. And now you're paying, and it was supposed to be a $9.3 million buyout with Sam, and it ended up being negotiated down to like $7.75. He was magnanimous. Yeah, he left $1.6 million on the table, that he didn't have to. So
he'll be joining Mike White in Tampa.
Exactly, he'll be.
Check it out.
Might just go back to his lake house where he'll take shots at that pig he had built out there, and 8:46 the time. Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Our show also coming at you courtesy of the wonderful human beings that are here to help with your dental needs at Cormier Family Dentistry. I will be visiting Cormier Family Dentistry next Monday. Spoke to Helen, got my time slot in, I think next Monday at 2 o'clock, something like that. I'll try to get the 2:30. The prime spot, obviously, Rogers, for every dental visit is to go at 2:30. But I believe I got it at 2. Cormier Family Dentistry, the dynamic duo of dentistry, Adam and Jenna Cormier. I love them. I trust them with my big flapping teeth. You ought to as well if you're looking for a dentist. Cormier Family Dentistry, 868-4072. Right there on East Kings, across from Albertsons, between Drug Emporium and Aiken's Nursery. We'll be back with more Power Hour right after this. That Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ Texas Edition that I am cruising around in is just a dream truck. I love the leather upholstery. It's got the cooling seats that are going to come in handy so much here as these temperatures warm up. Can you imagine the summer without cooling seats and leather upholstery? As big as I am, not a pretty picture. But the Silverado LTZ from Chevyland is going to take care of me as it always does. Chevyland, together, let's drive.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Bird football is built on preparation, discipline, and confidence. And those same values drive success at Mark's Driving Academy. From first-time drivers to those needing a refresher, our certified instructors make every lesson safe, simple, and stress-free. With flexible scheduling and personalized instruction, we help students gain the skills and confidence to hit the road the right way. Support Bird football and your future. Enroll today at marksdrivingacademy.com. That's marksdrivingacademy.com.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for LSU sports.
Welcome back, everybody. Tim Fletcher Show, Rogers Hambone Hampton. Spoken like a true Balmorian there, relishing someone else's misery. Power Hour of our show is brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Our show also presented every day by Alsco and Alsco.com. When it comes to your uniforms, linens, facility care, and more, Alsco, 318-636-0404. Had baseball managers clocked yesterday, including Bruce Bochy, Rico Baldelli of the Twins, and who else was fired? Bob Melvin of the Giants. So Bochy was apparently a mutual decision. And, again, these Giant fans, we don't want him back here. That ship has sailed. That ship sailed to 3 World Series titles for you and also gave the Rangers their only World Series title. Oh, how many long years ago was that?
The year before last?
Oh, yeah, the year before last. Long time ago. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Bruce
People act like
Bochy,
that Rangers World Series didn't happen, by it's very strange.
It is weird.
How people it's like not even acknowledged, I feel like. It's weird.
I think more people remember Nelson Cruz ball bouncing off his noggin and the Rangers blowing the World Series more than they remember the Rangers winning the World Series.
That's weird.
That is weird.
You know?
That was a really good team.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won the World Series. And it took Bruce Bochy to get that out of them.
Yeah.
So, it's like Joe Madden. Joe Madden can do no wrong in my book. You know?
Sure.
He got the job done.
Yes. Very good manager in multiple
Very
ways.
good manager, multiple spots. Did the Cubs right, man. So I don't get what this – I don't know why the Rangers were just kind of hankering to get him out of there. And he seemed to be on wanted to get out as well.
Yeah.
They had so many injuries. The Rangers are such a weird team.
They are.
They've got they put so much money into Simeon and Seager. Right. They put so much money into Simeon and Seager, but they've also got these great young players, and no one can stay healthy.
Yeah.
They're like the New Orleans Pelicans of baseball. Nobody stays healthy on that team. Carter, Langford, Young, Simeon, Seager, Leiter. I mean, all of them spent so much time on the shelf. So maybe that was just Bochy like, hey, this has just got bad juju here. You know, this is not working. Injuries, maybe it's strength coaching. I have no idea. But who are you rooting for, by the way, Esther, in these first round of the playoffs, since you don't have a dog in the hunt until the Mariners? Who do they end up getting? The winner of the Cleveland-Detroit series?
Yes.
And so Toronto. So it's going to be All-American League East.
That's the spot the Mariners want to be in, though. Let the AL East tear each other apart.
Right. Red Sox and Yankees play. The winner gets the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Mariners will get the survivor of the Guardians and the Tigers. Yeah, I think I'd rather have that
Definitely
position.
take that. I don't care, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the Dodgers lose.
Sure.
There you go. There's a nice graphic.
Oh, there we go.
I like the city of San Diego, so if that happened, that's cool. You know.
Yeah. Cubs, if they beat the Padres, they'll get their NL Central brethren, Milwaukee. So
it feels very, and it's very disrespectful to the Brewers. Before I even say it, but it feels like the Dodgers and Phillies being on the same side. Not that it's like, oh, that's the real
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but
LCS.
it feels like, hey, all right, one of those guys gonna be gone.
Right.
Hey, good.
You're right. I think that if I'm the Padres, Cubs, or the Brewers, I feel a lot better about that. I only, I don't have to face one and then the other.
Hey, in some ways, the same thing on the other side with the AL East all being in the same in the same deal too. But definitely knowing that all right, we got to, if we handle business, which we have to, and all these teams are here for a reason. Still, we get one of the two out of the way before we get to that point.
And don't forget that the NBA preseason begins soon. NHL preseason's already underway. And there's a really interesting article on The Athletic this morning about Mason, isn't it Mason West? Isn't that his name? The Blackhawks first-round pick, who, by the way, 6'7", 225 pounds.
The guy that played football.
Yeah, he's playing his senior year of football right now.
Yeah.
He was drafted by the Blackhawks in the first round last year, or in the last draft, and he's kind of liking football. I'm like, well,
I know where he's at. All right, that's great.
That's good.
Glad
Okay.
you're liking it.
Run along. Here's where the Blackhawks play.
Yeah.
And here's where that MAC team that's going to give you a scholarship will be playing. So,
He's
yeah.
not supposed to.
But 6'7", 225 pounds. That's a big boy no matter what sport.
Because he's also committed to Michigan State for hockey. So it's which you can, NHL, you can still go and play in college and they'd still hold your rights and all that. But I don't know.
All right.
Not sure how
8:56
that'll
the time.
work out.
I'm not either, but Good to have options.
Yeah.
Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Our show also brought to you by Porter's Cleaners. You got 3 minutes. In by 9, out by 5. Drop your dry cleaning off at Porter's Cleaners. In by 9, out by 5 at Porter's Cleaners at all locations. And we'll be back right after this. Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City, supporting the Tim Fletcher Show. You know, he loves naming his homes after movies, characters, and all that good stuff, Hester. What's the next one you think Donnie Brewer should be investing in?
The Rolls of John Candy.
So, John Candy movies. Little Uncle Buck.
Yes.
What else you got?
How about summer rental?
Ooh, perfect for the deer camp, though. Whatever camp it is you have, get the summer rental at Brewer Quality Homes.
The Home Alone.
Oh.
Gus Polinski. Polka, polka, polka.
Do the polka all the way down to 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. Get on a plane, a train, or an automobile and get your Brewer Quality home right now.
Just don't name one after Barf.
Hey, y'all, this is Eddie Kennison. As a former Tiger and pro athlete, I know what it feels like not to be at your peak. If you're tired, losing strength, or just not feeling like yourself, it could be low testosterone. That's where Rejuvamine Medical comes in. Their team knows how to help you regain energy, performance, and confidence on and off the field. It's real people right down the street with real support from a medical team that listens and real results you can feel. Schedule your consult today at RejuvaMeMedical.com. That's REJUVIME Medical.com.
Whether your kid is lining them up on the gridiron and putting in the mouthpiece and getting after it, or maybe you've got a kiddo who is a part of the Friday night spectacle of drill team and pep squads and cheerleading squads, guess what? Sports World's got you covered. You got a uniform need? Sports World, 8809 Joella, just off 3132.
Morse & DeWitt Injury Lawyers built to practice on representing real people with real injuries and have obtained real results. Their success stories speak for themselves. They know and have experience with the best doctors and experts in their fields to provide the best care. If you or a loved one are injured, it is extremely important to choose the right lawyer. To see what they've done for others or to schedule a free consultation, visit morrisdewitt.com. Paid non-lawyer spokesperson, Shreveport, Trey Morris, LA 2417189. Results may vary.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City, 1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports.
Hey now, welcome back everybody. Tim Fletcher Show, Roger Hampton, Adam Hester here. It's 8:58 on this lovely day. Our Power Hour brought to you by Brewer Quality Homes, 30 Brewer Quality Homes, 3830 East Texas in Bossier City. I call it Bossier City because brah, dude. That's where you gotta go. Speaking of bras, dude, last night, the long driving contest at Chasing Aces, so much fun. I was watching, and one dude ripped one about 278 yards right down the middle. I think he's on staff out at Chasing Aces. Dude, check out chasingaces.golf. You know you can go have lunch out at Chasing Aces, even if you don't do anything, if you don't rent a bay, even if you don't go play putt, in the putting zone or par 3 or the home run zone. You can still just have lunch out there. The food's that good. But then you're going to be having lunch. You're sitting at the bar area or one of the tables there, and you're going to look out there and see everyone having fun in the bay. You go, why aren't we doing that too? Yeah, why don't you take your lunch, get you a bay, have a little working lunch or a playing lunch. Ooh, even better. ChasingAces.golf. Book your time now. For our friends in Lafayette, take care, folks. We'll holla at you again tomorrow. Holla at you, boy.
KWKH, Shreveport, Bossier City, 1130 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports.
Well, Rogers. If it isn't 9 o'clock, and it's time for happy hour. It's also time.
It's time.
Well, almost.
It's time.
Sure. Friday Football Frenzy. Firing your way. Week 5 of Friday Football Frenzy, Friday night. I don't get it, Captain. Time now, though, for your SEC update brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo knows dough. Bo, of course, the Captain Shreve, LSU Tiger, Cincinnati Bengal legend. In every client meeting, his first question is, what are you thinking about when lying awake at 2 in the morning? That's what he wants to address. He sells peace of mind. Addressing problems that worry you is his calling, especially when it involves your financial life. Bringing you this SEC update. Okay. The power rankings are out. The PFF team of the week is out. And all this good stuff. So, all right, let's take a look at the kind of wrapping a bow up on week 5 of the college football season. Is that right? Yeah, because of the 0 week. As far as the SEC, highest graded offensive players, non-quarterbacks, include running back Marquise Davis, who had the highest grade of every offensive player according to PFF. Missouri wide receiver Kevin Coleman. Oh, by the way, UL Monroe running back Zach Palmer-Smith also among the top 10. Now, remember, Missouri played UMass, so why are they even in this? Highest graded players defensively from the SEC, South Carolina's Dylan Stewart at edge rusher, one of the top 10 performers this week. Oh, by the way, since it's Tech Tuesday, I will mention that Alonzo Jackson Jr., the Haynesville Golden Tornado alum, redshirt freshman, finished as the 3rd highest graded defensive player in all of college football last week. And Jakari Foster finished as the 7th highest graded performer on defense. As far as on the QB side, SEC quarterbacks, nobody finished as a top 10 grade. However, University of Louisiana backup quarterback who led the Ragin' Cajuns to a stirring double overtime comeback win over Marshall, the now soon-to-be famous, I hope, Lunch Winfield was the highest graded quarterback in all of college football. But no SEC quarterbacks got the grade. Yeah. PFF does their own top 25 as well based on their grading. And the top 25, according to PFF, which, again, using the stats and the analytical data that they have. Missouri ranked 18th. Tennessee comes in at 16th. Vanderbilt ranked 14th. Texas at number 11. LSU at 10 in PFF's poll. Georgia comes in at 9. Alabama 8. Oklahoma 6. A&M 5. Ole Miss number 4 in the PFF top 25. Esther, you're out of here. Have a good day, sir. Your SEC updates brought to you by Bo Harris Wealth Management. The following is a paid advertisement for Bo Harris Wealth Management. Bo is a certified financial planner, CFP. He's a certified investment management analyst, CMA, or CIMA, CIMA. Securities are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, that's WFAFN, member SIPC. Bo Harris Wealth Management of Conservative Financial is a separate entity from WFAFN. Bo Harris Wealth Management. BoHarrisWM.com, 318-670-3101, located at 223 Fannin in downtown Shreveport. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline as part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversation, your head coach of the Southwood Cowboys, it's Dewante Johnson. Hello, Dewante. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Tim. I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I am A-OK. You know, Southwood Cowboys have already made so many wonderful memories, and it's not even 4 games into the season for you guys. So many lives have been altered in such a positive way already because of the success you guys have had on the field. So I choose not to even allow last week to have happened in my head. These kids are 2-0 in my book, but that's not how the scorecard reads, I'm sure. However, even after a loss to Loyola, there's got to be something learnable from that loss that's going to make things better for Southwood. So, Dewante, the guy that's brought all this happiness to Southwood along with your coaching staff, what is the silver lining from last week that you can take into this week?
Not getting comfortable, and that was the talk to my guys. You know, it was no fussing, it was nothing. It was hats off to coach at Loyola, coaching the staff. They did a great job beating our butts. We needed that. Sometimes you need to get your head hit up. You need to knock your head on something to realize, like, okay, you know, I cannot get comfortable. I always talk to my kids about how being comfortable is like cancer, you know. So that was the thing, you know, not being comfortable. Those kids needed that, and now they understand. They see, like, okay, we have to come here to work every single day, and they started that off yesterday with a great practice before we had our JV game. So that was the talk to them. Just don't ever get comfortable. Always stay uncomfortable so you can always keep that hunger
that hunger gets fed by the wins and then all of a sudden gets kind of made worse by the losses. So that hunger's got to return this week when you take on a Bossier Bearcat squad that just had the rug pulled out from under them at the very end of the game last week, but have really put up some good showing so far. Montreville Lewis, the young kid at quarterback, is pretty doggone exciting. I'm just kind of curious, your kid, Jamilton Coleman, what do you need him to do really well this week against Bossier?
Just to manage the game. Don't try to be a superhero. Like I said, and I'm sorry, it's Jaden Carter, the starting quarterback.
Okay, so Jamilton played against North Caddo.
Yes, he did. He's the sophomore. Yes,
all right.
He's the sophomore. We sat Carter that game.
Okay,
but,
right, my bad.
Like Coach Wu T and I both, we both had a conversation with Carter. We tend to try to meet with our quarterbacks at least once a week, individual conversations. And we just tell them, don't try to be the superhero. Just win the football game. That's why I love Jalen Hurts. He don't try to go out there and be a superhero. He just wins football games. He managed the game. He don't care about having 300-400 passing yards. He don't care if he have 100 yards or passing 85 rushing, but he wins the game. And that's been a conversation to our quarterback. Just win the football game, manage the game, do not turn the ball over, take care of the football, so we can get down to the end zone. I think last week we had, I want to say 2 or 3 turnovers. One was an interception, critical point too. So just manage the football game. That's been a conversation with the quarterback.
You mentioned, Jalen and the Eagles, and I know that the fantasy football world and the TV world was all shocked and appalled at the fact that the Eagles became one of the few teams that did not complete a pass in the second half of an NFL game. And people were like, oh, my gosh, how bad are they? I'm like, well, they're 4-0, so they're not bad. They're the defending Super Bowl champs, so they're pretty good. And then, oh, by the way, another stat came out. Since 2000, teams that have not completed a pass in the second half of a game are 15-1 in the NFL over the last 25 years. Doesn't happen often, Dewumante, but when it does, it's for a reason. And the Eagles, they just needed Jalen Hurts to run the offense, run the clock, get the win, and move on. They got 17 of them. You've got 9 of them in the regular season. And so I assume that the message to Jaden is exactly that. The wins are what's important. The yards aren't. The touchdowns aren't necessarily. Turnovers are, but getting the win. So how do you preach that into a young man to just be that ball control? Because Keandre could sling it. We all know that there was no one that could throw the ball any further than that young man and as accurate as he did at Parkway. How does he kind of drill in that you don't have to be me? You don't have to be Brandon Harris, who was right before Keandre. Just be Jaden. What is the message to Jaden to just be himself?
Well, like I said, with Coach Wu T's experience and, with him being in a lot of different situations from being at North Arizona, Oklahoma State, I think just with his experience alone, he gets the young man to understand, hey, just be a great game manager, instead of, trying to go out and to, get the wild stats and everything. Be a great game manager, win the football games. Like I said, I personally respect their relationship. So sometimes we have meetings with him, I truly don't sit in, because I truly feel like that's a relationship of a quarterback, 2 quarterbacks, especially as your offensive coordinator. That should somewhere be a personal relationship between each other, because I always say the quarterback don't need to have too many people in their ears because he's hearing too many things. But I know, like I said, with Coach Wu T experience, I think that's how he get through to the young man to get him to understand, hey, you don't have to be a gunslinger like I once was, but you can be a great game manager, with your IQ, how smart he is. Because Jaden Carter is a very smart kid, biotech kid, one of the top kids in the school. So I think that's how those conversations go between those 2 guys.
I was just you bring up Jalen Hurts, and I talked about it with a couple of the coaches earlier this morning, Dewumante. The tush push. Have you run across it at the high school level yet as far as going against it, or have you guys implemented it at all?
No, I haven't. I think that's a very special, technique to use. It's like a rugby style type, you know, and, you know, you don't really see too many people practicing rugby, playing rugby football around here in high school. So, no, I haven't seen it nor tried to work it. But let me tell you something. It ain't something – it's definitely something that should be starting to hit the high school rankings here pretty soon because it's unstoppable if you have the guys up front and the rest of the guys that can fall in line with what they're doing.
Well, Sella at Loyola asked him about it, and he goes, we don't want – you know, we actually have worked on quarterback center exchanges, you know, because so many teams are in the shotgun or the pistol. He said, but then we don't want our quarterback, Bryce Restovich, to be underneath all those big bodies. You know, at the high school level, you lose a quarterback, you lose a season, you know, and the Eagles are able to somehow or another protect Jalen somehow that cat, thank God he doesn't get hurt because I love the way Jalen Hurts plays. And I'm with you on that whole thing. I think he's one of the most underrated players in all of the NFL. You don't ever hear anything about him. All you see is him winning. All you see is him, you know, complimenting his teammates. He never yells at anybody. That's a guy to emulate. I completely get that. But also, I don't know if I want to be underneath 900 pounds of fellows on top of me either. So I get that. Coach, when you look at the Bossier Bearcats, what's the thing that's the biggest concern for you and your coaches heading into Friday's game?
Montreal Lewis. I've been bragging about this kid for matter of fact, it's funny. When I was working at Graham as a defensive backs coach, I came down to watch Bossier High play, just recruiting the area. And that kid stuck out to me as a freshman. And at the time, Coach C.J. Morgan was over there at Bossier. And I said, man, who is this kid, this 13 kid? He's like, that's a freshman. I said, wow. Like, that kid right there is so special. It's unreal. This is a type of talent as far as athleticism that I haven't seen in a minute around this area. Like, he's super talented. Like, as far as just being an athlete. Like, Montreal Lewis he's a dude. Like, you know, you have to stop him if you want to beat Bossier High. That's for sure. And he's a load to stop. Special talent. That young man is going to do great things. I know he is. But we have to stop Montreal Lewis. You know, I think at this point it's obvious. Everybody knows. You stop him, you win the game. You know, because he is a pivotal part of what they do. What does he do that just kind of sticks out then? Even as a 14-year-old freshman, what was it that just kind of stood out to you? He's relentless. Like, when it comes to just running the ball and not going down, like, I have yet to see one person just tackle this guy. And if you can make one miss, you got a good chance. Because I played the same position he played up there, playing in recording the same type of athlete. And he's just relentless when it comes to running the ball. And he throws a pretty good football also. But it's his running ability. When you have a quarterback like that can run the ball inside A to B gaps or hit it on the C gaps, and he has nice size, so it adds on to it. He's like probably 5'10", 5'11", 175, 80 pounds. So he's not a little kid, you know. So, but his explosive running ability, Tim, is unreal. Like, man, this kid has put up some numbers, man. Like, so we're definitely afraid of his running ability. So we're gonna have to tackle him. We have to get him down to the ground. And that is almost a lost art. But I say that. Are you happy with the way that your guys have kind of handled the tackling portion of football this year? I'm gonna say, as a coach that's always chasing greatness, I'm gonna say no. But I also would say I'm very pleased with how much better we're getting at tackling every week, because we do tackling circuit every day. So we're getting better and better and better. And the guys already know we've already did our intro to the team we playing in the players, and they already know we have to be great tacklers this week. We have to be great tacklers because they have Montreal Lewis that can run the ball, and again they have some more guys that's surrounded around him that can make plays also. But we have to tackle him, but we're getting better every week with tackling, so that's a great thing. He is Dewante Johnson. He is your head coach of the Southwood Cowboys, and this Friday night it's a district tilt at Independence Stadium. Coach, Friday night. Yes, sir, it is. Independence Stadium, Friday night, Southwood versus Bossier, a very big game for both of these programs, especially as they try to make their way towards postseason possibilities.
The winner of this game certainly has a leg up over the loser of this game. So, Coach, I hope your boys play as hard as they can, that Loyola game is so far in the rearview mirror they can't even see it anymore. And I hope that more than anything, I hope all these young fellas that are going out there and gutting through a high school football season come out of this thing healthy, because they could certainly choose to do a whole lot of other things that aren't high school football. And I'm glad that they chose football and to play for you, and I hope they do okay for you, Coach.
Thank you so much, Tim. God bless you guys. And, man, it's always great talking to you guys. Y'all have a
You too,
wonderful,
buddy.
rest of the day.
Dewante Johnson getting it done over at Southwood again. I don't care what they do the rest of the year. That streak is over, and they got a couple of wins. And, Rogers, you and I both know when you can get one or two of those in high school, if you're not used to it,
It
the world.
makes all the difference in
It's
the
the
world.
world.
And Coach Sella even complimented on, hey,
Yeah.
he's got it going on and in the right direction at
Yep.
Southwood now. So his opponent just said, no, hey, it's a different Southwood team.
Yep,
It's
and that's
a
what you love to see.
And it's in a good way.
Yes, indeed. Our little radio show, of course, is brought to you by the wonderful human beings over at Walk On Sports Bistro. 4 baseball games today, all playoff games. Game 1 of the Wild Card Series get underway at high noon. Cleveland and Detroit, followed by the Cubs and Padres at 2. At 5 o'clock, it's the Yankees and the Red Sox. And then on the West Coast at 8 o'clock our time, it's the Dodgers and Reds. Walk-ons will have those games up there, of course. There may even be, what is it, Tuesday? Are we ready for MAC and Conference USA college football? Is there a college football game tonight? Might be 1 week before. Let's see. Make sure. Nope, Thursday games this week. We're getting closer. But the games are on, and the food's even better. No matter what you order at Walk-Ons, close your eyes, spin the menu, or have the waitress spin you around, and then you point the finger at the menu. Whatever you point at is going to be outstanding. I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on Walk-On's gumbo. I will eat it every day and be happy about it. And their fettuccine with blackened chicken, fettuccine Alfredo with blackened chicken or blackened shrimp, amazing. You're thinking, Walk-Ons? Fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah. Take it from me, a knuckle dragon, fat Neanderthal. I know good food, and that's good food. Walk-Ons on Airline Drive north of 220. Walk-Ons on Uri south of East 70th. We'll be back with John Simon of Huntington right after this.
11:30 The Tiger, your home for LSU sports, powered by Jack Spring Electric.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Hey, Eddie Kennison here. As a former Tiger and pro athlete, strength, energy, and performance are still important to me. That's why when I felt my strength slipping, I turned to Rejuvamine Medical. Check your testosterone today at rejuvaminemedical.com. That's REJUVIME medical.com.
Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers built a practice on representing real people with real injuries and have obtained real results. Their success stories speak for themselves. Visit morrisdewitt.com. Paid on lawyer spokesperson Shreveport, Trey Morris, LA 2417188. Results may vary.
The presenting sponsor for the Tim Fletcher Show is Alsco. Uniform needs, tablecloths, napkins, you name it, with facility care from wet mops to floor mats to everything in between, plus the very important first aid services as well. Trust Alsco. 318-636-0404, alsco.com.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey now, welcome back everybody to Tim Fletcher Show, 9:22 the time. Happy hour, Raj. Whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah. Time to feed the beast. Our show is brought to you by Daiquiri Express. Oh. Happy hour every day from 4 to 7. Sexy sour. Sorry, I'm probably going to go to HR here. Sex on the beach and an amaretto sour combo. Mm-hmm. How about the Hulk? Hennessy, Hypnotic, and a vodka freeze combo. The Cajun Curse. It's a combo of Long Island iced tea, margarita, and a vodka freeze. Wow. That sounds fantastic. The Cajun Curse. Whoa, buddy. I'm telling you, that's... And I'm telling you, if worst comes to worst for me, Raj, you give me a vodka freeze and I do a little shot of grenadine in it, I am a happy customer. That is a frozen drink that I don't care if it's 98 degrees outside or 28 degrees. Yep. Big fan. Of course, Daiquiri Express, locally owned and operated, all the way from Minden to Blanchard and all parts in between. 4 locations in Shreveport, 1 in Blanchard right across from Walmart off Highway 1. Bossier City on Airline, north of Wimple, across from Golf Cars of Louisiana. In Minden as well, and in Shreveport, the 4 locations include across from LSUS on Uri, right here on Mansfield Road with a drive-through location. Pines Road, just right by the post office, basically down the street or in the strip mall from the post office. And, of course, the round building in Shreve City at the base of the Barksdale Bridge on the Shreveport side of the Red River next to what's on tap. Daiquiri Express is indeed. Rogers, have we missed any big news today other than any more firings? And he's done for the year. It might be. Yeah. Yep. I saw something, and I may have lost. No, here we go. One last thing on the Ryder Cup. Rogers, when it comes to attention to detail, okay? I know we're supposed to have John Simon of Huntington we called and got voicemail.
Got voicemail twice.
So no Simon today. So a little Ryder Cup, put a bow on this. Luke Donald, the European captain, talk about attention to detail. He told the team to arrive a week early and stay on Eastern time the week prior to the Ryder Cup. so they got used to the sleep patterns. Changed the bedding at the team hotel because he didn't think it was sufficient. He knew how important rest and recovery would be. All right. Swapped out the shampoo in the hotel room showers to a better quality and a nicer fragrance. I don't know. Noticed that the doors in the hotel rooms had cracks that let in light, so had each player's door fixed. Each of the practice round uniforms were inspired by prior away victories for Team Europe. And even on Sunday, on the shirts they wore, the 4 stripes across represented the 4 away victories that Team Europe has had. And as someone notes here with Ron Burgundy, better shampoo leads to better putting. It's science. You know? And then someone else says, bro, stop. They putted better for the first 2 days. That's it. Cracks in the blanket doors had nothing to do with it. Yeah. So, well, we'll never know. But little attention to detail. Maybe that's it. Maybe the Americans needed better shampoo.
I mean, how many times have you and I talked about look better, feel better, play better?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to shoot that down because I am one of those that adheres to that. And if you're sleeping more comfortable, you feel cleaner, you feel like you're getting more rest because there's not light. There's nothing wrong with that. That does contribute to stronger mind, stronger body, and may mean a stronger putting stroke. You don't know.
That's right.
I'd rather be able to say I showed up rested and clean and nice sheets than, oh, man, show up like dude from The Big Lebowski. Oh, man, I didn't get any sleep. There was light coming through the door. The shampoo stinks.
Yep. So little things matter.
It does.
And speaking of little things, Raj, we talked about Major League Baseball a little while ago. Playoffs begin today. How about the fact that maybe you and me and Puff and Greg and Adam aren't the only baseball fans left in America, Raj? Because according to Major League Baseball, viewership was up considerably. On Fox, viewership up was 9%. On FS1, viewership increased 10%. ESPN saw a 21% increase in viewership. TBS, 29%. MLB Network, 13% increase. NHK, which is the Japanese television that carries a lot of the games here, especially with the Japanese players, up 20%. And MLB TV, up 34%. And this was also the third straight year of attendance growth. 71.4 million fans eclipsed the 70 million mark for the third straight year. First time that's happened since 2015 through 2017. And it was also the most viewed season ever on social media with 17.8 billion views. That's up 20%. So, Raj, somebody's watching baseball, and it's not just us. And so, doggone it, I'm happy. Because there was a while where interest was waning, but now not so much. We've got your LSU update on the way, plus we're going to talk to Big Bad Brad Laird and Thedrick Harris for our final Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations of the day. We'll be back with our show brought to you by Alsco and Alsco.com right after this.
Need top-notch construction equipment or cranes in Shreveport, Louisiana? Scott Equipment has you covered. As a trusted family-owned business, we offer a wide range of equipment for rent or sale. Whether you're tackling a big project or need reliable machinery, Scott Equipment is here to help. Stop by Scott Equipment on North Market today to learn more and find out how you can save for your next rental or purchase. Call or visit us now and get the job done right with Scott Equipment.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Our office computers were from like 2012.
What? They had computers then?
Yeah, I don't know much about new tech.
Apparently.
So I went to Staples and saved big on an AI-powered HP laptop and HP OfficeJet Pro printer, which also came with 3 months of free instant ink.
And we're back in this century. During Staples HP Tech Event, save up to 35% on HP printers and up to 40% on AI-powered HP PCs.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. Until 11/1, select models only.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
There are so many reasons to shop at Chevyland. They are the #1 Chevy dealer in the area, for Pete's sake. But I'm just telling you right now, if you're in the market for a Silverado, that's the place to be. The Silverado LTZ that I'm driving around has everything that I'm looking for. Look, I'm getting older. Maybe I don't drive as well as I used to, which is why I love the front and rear parking sensors, the surround view camera system, all right there in that Silverado LTZ from Chevyland. 7500 Uri Drive in Shreveport. Together, let's drive.
Looking for reliable electrical services? Look no further than Jack Spring Electric. From industrial to commercial to residential needs, we've got you covered. Our expert team ensures top-notch service every time, keeping your operations running smoothly and your homes powered up. And when the power goes out, trust our generators to keep your lights on and your business going strong. Visit jackspringelectric.com for all of your electrical needs. For quality you can trust, visit jackspringelectric.com today. Jack Spring Electric, powering your world.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Having personally witnessed just how hard the folks at Alsco work, you can feel great knowing they are working so hard for you. Uniforms, linens, facility care, and so much more. Call them today, 318-636-0404, or visit alsco.com.
103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger, Shreveport's home for LSU sports.
Hey there, hello. What do you say on this lovely day? My name is Tim, and his name is Raj. Welcome back. Tim Fletcher Show, 103.3 FM, 1130 The Tiger. Happy Hour. Our show presented by Alsco, your home for uniform linens, facility care, first aid services, and workwear. 318-636-0404. Also, thanks to our buddies over at Chapin Toyota. It's shaping up to be a beautiful day at Ken Chapin Toyota, 5015 East End Boulevard South off I-20 in Marshall, Texas. Go check out the Toyota selection there, including the sexiest, most good-looking, most beautiful 4Runner I think has ever been made. You know who's going to make you a deal? Ken Chapin, ChapinToyota.com. You pick it out, they'll work it out at Chapin Toyota. Time now for your LSU update, brought to you by River City's Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City, Louisiana. RiverCitiesLighting.com, 3908 Shed Road. They've got light fixtures for inside the house, outside the house, and all over the house. Matthew Brune, who covers LSU as a beat writer for Bengal Tiger at On3.com, says these are the 5 changes LSU's offense needs to make in the bye week. See if you agree. Carius Curran starting at right tackle. Yep. He said, this is a no-brainer, something we talked about for months now. Weston Davis has not had a single performance this season better than the game that Kearney just played at Ole Miss. And he didn't even know he was starting until 20 minutes before kickoff and was still ultra-competitive. Number 2, Michael Van Buren needs to get first-team quarterback reps in practice. Whether or not he wasn't ready or he's not good enough at the Ole Miss game, something needs to be done about that. And so getting Nussmeier rest and recovering, because he obviously is still hurt, Time for Michael Van Buren to get some first-team reps at least in practice and be ready for a certain package of plays. Number 3, more under-center, bigger run personnel. We brought that up. It's amazing. Put him in the eye with a fullback, and you get a 51-yard run on the first time you use that offensive formation. Number 4, get Harlem Berry ready to be running back 2, RB2. He's the second best running back on the team. Stop pretending that Juwan Johnson is better than Caden Durham. Durham was a preseason All-SEC running back. Berry was the number 1 running back in the country. Get those two ready to roll. And number 5, get the tight ends more comfortable. Trades Green came back with a brace on his knee. Barrow Sharp is good. They're not Mason Taylor, but combined, as they say here, they can be an aggregate Mason Taylor. And that hasn't happened yet. So get that going this bye week as well. And that's your LSU update, brought to you by River City's Lighting and Rug Gallery, 3908 Shed Road in Bossier City, Louisiana. River City's Lighting and Rug Gallery, taking care of your business, all your light fixture needs, and they have been doing this for 13 years. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline, as part of our Coaches Conversation, brought to you by Skent-N-Dent, it's Big Bad Brad Laird and the Natchitoches Central Chiefs head coach. What's up, Brad?
What's up, Tim? How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. Well, buddy, the offense, once again, lights out, 40 points after putting up 36 the week before, 42 the week before, but you got to get that ledger turned around. What's the key in getting things turned around at Natchitoches Central so that those L's, high scoring as they may be, turn into a more productive W?
Yeah, we're close. That's we see that internally. But yeah, you go through a game. I think if you go back, you look at the first half of Parkway, Tim. I think there was 13 total possessions, between us and Parkway. 11 of those touchdowns. One of those possessions we had a turnover, and then the other possession that neither team scored on, we had a 4th and goal at the 8. So a lot of offense, but in order to get that, like you talked about, defensively, I think we got to get off the field on third down. That's been a nemesis. And I say third and fourth down. They scored twice the other night, I believe, both in the first half on fourth down. So we've had some opportunities to get off the field. We just haven't done it. Got to tackle better. We have to tackle better at all 3 levels, up front, linebackers in the back end, and continue to create takeaways. That's one thing. If you can't force them to punt, we need to find a way to be able to get the ball from them. And so we did a good job a couple of weeks ago on takeaways, but the other night we did not. So, those are things that we got to continue to work on, but we're close. And just look forward to another opportunity to make it happen.
Brad Laird joining us here, head coach of the Natchitoches Central Chiefs. And, Brad, it's so much easier said than done. I get it. You can't just say, well, we're going to be a better defense. You can't declare it like Michael Scott on office and declaring bankruptcy. These kids have got to be invested. And that's something that's hard to do when you're not, trying to get your kids banged up in practice. And it's something that you experienced at Northwestern State. It's something we see on Sundays. Guys still aren't tackling very well. Just watching Derrick Henry. Well, it was Derrick Henry. There's a highlight here of guys just throwing their shoulders at people, as opposed to the old wrap 'em up days. What is it? You've been around this game for your entire life. Your dad was around this game his entire life. Y'all have seen, the Lairds have seen people who know how to tackle ball carriers. What's the thing missing, you think, with tackling today than back when your pops was coaching high school and when you were playing high school and college?
Well, I think there's a couple things. One is, and that's something we talked about this week, because, how much do you tackle during the week in practice of your own guys? The risk versus the reward. You got to look at that. But, we changed some things around this week in practice and what we're going to do, to try to simulate Friday nights as much as we can. But also a couple other things. You look at rule changes that has gone in place not just here recently, but over the course of, the last 10, 15, 20 years, whether that's high school, whether that's college, or whether that's NFL, it's, it's made the game safer, but you kind of, now as a defensive guy, sometimes you're, you don't want to risk that opportunity for a penalty. And so you had to change some things of how you tackle. And then also, I don't think, at a young age, we're going out and playing the game as much anymore, so you look at a combination. I don't think it's one particular thing. I think it's a combination of a lot of things that we as coaches can be better. And, that's one thing. What can we do as a coaching staff to help this football team become better tacklers? And so, we'll implement some things in practice that we feel like will help us.
So about those things, the rules basically have made the game less dangerous for the offense. Is that a good way to put it, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to put it.
Yep. The lack of a crackback block, for instance, how much did that kind of curtail so many, sweeps and cutbacks when you knew that all you had to do is if you're tight end, we'll go out there and seal that linebacker who's chasing a reverse coming his way or whatever, that he was going to have, heck, you've heard this phrase, I'm sure, 9 million times in your life. Watch your ear hole, go stick or go plant your helmet in his ear hole. That's what we were told to do, on those crackback blocks. And you take away that and the fact that offensive linemen now, back in our days, our guys had to have their hands basically on their own jerseys and just using their forearms and elbows to kind of wedge and nudge people out of the way. And now you can grab people and hold on to them and keep them in place like that. And I get offense, drives the numbers and all that stuff, but it certainly makes it more difficult to win games, it seems like, Brad. It makes it harder on coaches and puts a whole lot more pressure on them, too. If you don't put 40 points on the board, what's wrong with you? And why aren't we winning? It just seems kind of silly in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, it does. It creates it puts you in some tough situations again. But our biggest thing is with the rule changes or whether they've grew up playing this game or not, what can we do as a coaching staff to be able to help them? And and credit to the offensive guys that have taken advantage of some of these rules and utilize them to their favor and what they're able to do. And, you look in this district and there's a lot of good skilled guys in this district, not just the state, but you just look at this district and we've opened up. We had Evangel, our first district game. We had Captain Shreve, second district game, and then Parkway. But even with all that, in those three games, we were a 1 or 2 score game in the second half or leading in the second half. So, our biggest focus as our football team and we move forward, let's control the things that we can control. And I can control practice. And that's one thing I can control, and I can control the practice plan. So, we'll start there and look forward to another good week in District 1-5A. Sounds like a winner to me. Of course, Natchitoches Central taking on a Houghton squad, Coach. Last thing here, just real quick, what's the thing that kind of stands out about Houghton when you see them on film? Well, I think, it starts with their quarterback. He does a great job, throws a good ball. He can also hurt you with his legs and some threats outside. That's one thing they can do. He does a great job leading the offense, and they got some threats. So that'll be, when we talk most of our interview about what we had to do defensively, I think their strength is what they do offensively. So, it'll be we look forward to that match and that opportunity. He's Brad Laird. He's the head coach of the Natchitoches Central Chiefs, and he's got one of those skill players that everyone loves, and that's Owen. His quarterback is fantastic. Coach, hope all goes well for your fellows. That's going to be at your place, right, this weekend, Friday night?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Homecoming Friday night.
Homecoming for the Natchitoches Central Chiefs versus those Haunting Buccaneers. Coach, hope the boys play hard and come out of this thing healthy, and I always appreciate your time, Brad. Really do.
Thanks, man. Talk to you later.
Talk to you soon. All right. Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversations, rocking and rolling here on this Tuesday, September 30th, last day of the month. Oh, well. We're going from September to Rocktober. Our show is also brought to you by the good folks over at Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers, who, by the way, bringing you the Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week. And it was BTW's Devian Stewart, 24 out of 34, 422 yards, and 5 touchdowns in BTW's wild win over Bossier High. Devian is our Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers Player of the Week. Joining us now on the Mudbugs Hockey Hotline as part of our Skent-N-Dent Coaches Conversation, your head coach of the Woodlawn Knights. It's good old Thedrick Harris. Hey, Thedrick, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. Thedrick, a tough one at Minden. Seemed like what could go wrong went wrong, and Minden also is a pretty fair football team. But I'm sure it was a little bit of a disappointing result there for you and your kids and your coaches. How do you kind of size up what took place with the Minden Crimson Tide?
I think it's exactly what you said. Yes, Minden is a good football team, but I don't think that score reflected the way we could have played. That game was, within hand for two or three quarters, and then, just the wheels fell off. And we had some turnovers, short fields, and that kind of thing, and the bottom just kind of fell out. And there's no excuse for that. There's no reasoning for that. Just talk to the kids and move on. And that was one of those things where we played well early but didn't play well, when it counted. And we knew that Minden was counting on finishing because they've had a couple of tough losses, and they came with it. They were backed in a corner, and they came out fighting it. We didn't.
That's something that Spencer Hurd has been talking about a lot, apparently, over the last couple of weeks, is for his kids to finish it. And that is such a big part of high school football, isn't it? That 40th to 48th minute of a high school football game can go so far in determining success, can it?
No doubt about it. And, everybody's talking about at every level keeping focus, making sure that the focus is there and that you finish and play, one play at a time. And those things sound cliche, but they matter because, everybody says the same thing. You go back and look at 7 or 8 plays and, the games are totally different. And, like I said, there's no excuses for, turning the ball over or doing things that we shouldn't. But bottom line is you got to play every play, and you never know when the big play is going to happen for you or against you.
Thedrick Harris, head coach of the Woodlawn Knights. You told the kids, it's over with. Let's get out of here. Let's move forward. Nothing you can do about it. It's spilled milk, so to speak. You got Northwood on your brain right now. They're coming up at their place on Friday. They're going to have their stinger out as well. Just like you guys, they had a disappointing loss and not the kind of showing that Austin Brown likes of his team. So in a battle of both teams wanting to right the wrong, what does it boil down to in a game like this?
Well, I tell you, you got to play mistake-free against Northwood. I've always said I think Northwood does as good a job as anybody of coaching and calling plays, putting their kids in the right positions. Coach Brown has done an outstanding job up there building, what people to say is a program. He works it from, at every level, and those guys play sound football. The thing for us is we have to eliminate mistakes to give ourselves a chance. We know what we're facing against Northwood, but I talked to the guys the other day. If you look at our district, besides those, the couple at the top, everybody's battling right there in the middle. And so we've got to get in the fight. At some point, Woodlawn has to enter the fight. Mm-hmm. And like I told them, I said, don't be complacent and just saying, okay, these are whatever. We got to go play whoever it is. It's not because it's Northwood or because it's North DeSoto or Minden or whoever it is in our district. This is one of the most competitive districts in the state. And, when you have to play week to week, I don't care who it is on that schedule. You got to be ready to play, and you got to do what you got to do to try to give yourself an advantage. And that's just part of it.
And it's something that you can't ever rest in games like this when and again, it goes back to what we just talked about, Thedrick, with the finishing the game. you know, in just about these next few games where you've got Northwood, Southwood, Loyola, North DeSoto, Bossier, BTW, nothing but district games the rest of the way, and just about every one of those is going to come down to the 7 or 8 plays in that third, fourth quarter, especially late. How do you get your kids mentally? I know physically you can have them in the right spot. They can they can be there and all that good stuff, but mentally and emotionally, what's the game plan to try to make sure these kids are trying to finish these games?
Well, I think too, I think there's a few things that you have to look at. One thing that I look at too is fatigue for certain guys. We've got to be smart as coaches of watching a guy, because a guy that plays both ways, you have to be smart about how you use them, because that kid may be playing his heart out, but if you don't get him out for 2 or 3 plays and give him a break, he may make a mistake on a play. He may make a crucial error just because his focus dropped because of fatigue. That's something we can manage. There's also situations that you have to practice in practice. You have to put them in situations. You got 1 timeout left. This was a situation we had last year. We're on the minus 30-yard line. We've got 1 timeout left. We've got to go 70 yards, for example. And you have to practice that. And coaches need to practice that. That's another thing that I'm trying to do a better job of making sure that the coaches understand situations and practice them as well. And so, those are little things that you have to do in order to start winning those 7 or 8 plays. And that's what those teams like Northwood and North DeSoto, Loyola, and all those guys are good at. And we have to get good at it too.
What's the thing that you feel like your team is doing really well right now, Thedrick?
I think we're running the ball really well. We've been hit or miss in the passing game. Even against Parkway, we had 4 or 5 people running wide open and we just missed them. And those, you don't get but 6 or 7 shots in a game. Everybody, if you play 75 plays, you're going to get 5 or 6 shots, and you've got to take advantage of those. And you got to hit them when they're open. There's very good defense and very good offense in this league. When you get an opportunity to take advantage of something, you're not going to get 100 chances. You got to take advantage of the chance you get.
Thedrick Harris and the Woodlawn Knights taking on a Northwood squad up at Northwood this right? Yeah, it's at Northwood this Friday night up there.
Mm-hmm.
Thedrick, when you're halfway through the season after this week, halfway through the regular season, has the playoff word been mentioned to the fellas yet? Do y'all talk about that kind of stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all. We're entering the 5th week of the season with a hard stretch to go. And like I tell those guys all the time, this is the way I look at playoffs. If you don't go in and win enough ball games, you're not getting in the playoffs anyway. So I leave all that power rating and all that stuff to the people that do that. And I'll take care of the wins we need to take care of to get in. Then you can look at all of that. But don't put the cart before the horse. Of course, everybody wants to get in the playoffs. We want to win. But a program like ours that's trying to battle every week to try to get respect and try to get into the mix, every game's a playoff game. So literally, I mean, I'm not just saying that. That every game's a playoff game. So they all count. And so we have to put our best foot forward. And we didn't last week. And so we've got to bounce back and go and play.
Thedrick Harris, head coach of the Woodlawn Knights. Always enjoy visiting with him because we always feel like we just got smarter at football when we talk to Thedrick. And that means his kids are getting smarter at football every week that he and his staff work with him as well. Taking care of business in his 5th year as the Knights head coach. It's Thedrick Harris. Thedrick, always enjoy visiting with you, man. I hope your fellows give it everything they've got this coming weekend, this Friday night at Northwood, and they come out of it healthy. And we're able to talk even more fun football as the weeks go on.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Thedrick Harris, head coach of the Woodlawn Knights. Right time is the night time. They've got a formula going right now at Woodlawn. Won the first week, lost the second. Won the third week, lost the fourth week. Is there a win on the horizon this week? Doc's Burner says, send Coach Thedrick Harris $20 and a script for Fuzzy's Taco Shop, Rogers Press Record.
Oh, we have, believe me.
Oh, I know.
About that. We can get him here one day just for an hour.
Yep. Yeah. He has got a voice. All right, Raj, what have we missed here?
Nothing. The top story is still Tyreek Hill's leg falling off. So.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a shame. Man, another good show, buddy. Good gosh. I mean, you had to squeeze in an extra coach. It was 2 for Tuesday, Tech Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you lived with the 2 for Tuesday theme in September.
Oh, and don't forget Fuzzy's Taco Shop, Raj. $2.50 tacos today.
Absolutely. And happy hour starts at 2. So there's
A lot of twos there. $2.50 for regular tacos of the ground beef, and $3.50 for the premium ones. And you want the fish tacos and the shrimp tacos, the brisket tacos. They're $3.50. Yeah. So $2.50 tacos, and then premium $3.50 tacos. All at Fuzzy's Taco Shop.
I bet you that now that Drew's back, and I bet you he's reinvigorated.
Yeah.
That you could probably get some MLB playoffs on a couple.
I bet. I have a feeling on the 4 TVs above the bar here this way, and the 4 back there, and the ones around the restaurant. Yeah, I think they're going to have the Major League Baseball. Yeah.
Come on down and watch some MLB playoffs.
Yes. And Roger, I think this is a good vibe. Tahati is wearing Cubs blue today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
And it's leather.
yeah.
Cubs blue.
Yeah, that's not a shame,
That's
Roger.
aggressive.
That's aggressive.
I like it.
That's the kind of aggressive we need.
That's good for the Cubbies.
What's her first name? Lauren?
Lauren, yeah.
Lauren Shihadi.
We're not just making up that
No.
last name. It's like SHEDAHI.
Right.
Like that. So we're not putting in a sexist remark.
No, that's her name. Lauren Shihadi.
And she is the baseball gal on the show we watch.
Yes. And going over the different pitching matchups tonight.
Absolutely.
4 wild card breakdowns.
Daytime Major League Baseball playoffs. Daytime.
Absolutely.
Back to back like home run jacks.
Rogers, for some reason, your mic is still not working. Even though it's on, it's not coming through. Yeah. It shows that it's on, but it's not. I was like, I'm not hearing you like in my headphones. The way
Just turn it on and off and reset.
now it's oh god.
Okay.
Now it's working.
I reset the 4.
Yeah, it's weird because
Sometimes
the light was on, but it was not working.
Sometimes this freezes over here.
Yeah. All right. Another fun show.
It wouldn't even let me play the theme right there, so I was in a little bit of a freeze mode.
I got you. We appreciate our buddies over at
Vodka
Spell Brothers
freeze.
Lumber bringing you Tech Tuesday, a double dose. Defensive coordinator Luke Olson joined us during the first hour today, and head coach Sonny Cumbie joined us in the second hour. We appreciate Skent-N-Dent for helping us with our high school coaches conversations. Skent-N-Dent, they're open right now in 2 minutes at 814 Shreveport Barksdale, your home for outstanding values on brand new appliances. It may have a little scratch or a dent, but they're about 50% off regular prices from the big box stores. Thanks as well to our wonderful friends over at Mudbugs Hockey, Brewer Home Center, Live Oak Environmental, liveoakenv.com. If your dumpster service isn't with a Live Oak logo and there's no Live Oak logo, that's just trash. 318-230-7125. Thank you, AccuTemp, Sports World, Bailey's Jewelers, Alsco, and Alsco.com. Community Renewal, Honey Baked Ham, Bowman Asphalt, Chevyland, GBT, Chop Shop with the Swamp Dog on the lunch menu, Spell Brothers Lumber, Bo Harris Wealth Management, Chapin Toyota, Walk On Sports Bistro, Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Fuzzy's Taco Shop, Chevyland, GBT, the Great Banking Team, Bowman Asphalt, River Cities Lighting, Chasing Aces and ChasingAces.golf, Daiquiri Express, Rejuvime Medical, that's REJUVIME Medical.com, Porter's Cleaners, Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers, Cormier Family Dentistry. I'll see you guys on Monday. Skent-N-Dent and Goodwill Industries of North Louisiana. Officer Payne, rest in peace. Thomas LaValle, rest in peace. And Casey Hobbick, rest in peace. Hambo, what you got going on? We'll see you kids and cats tomorrow.
Lord, I want to be in that number.
The previous program was paid for by Tim Fletcher. KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and